Hello, Oracles. So excited. This is the first time we are doing a mega live stream for this earnings call. So we will be on until all the way through the earnings call itself and then discuss things afterwards. So very excited to have all of you with us. Pejjy will be on with us momentarily. I will bring up the charts now just so we can see how we rock into close. It's been a bit of a wild day. Let me get in here. All right. Yeah, so this is the minute chart. So looking at the minute chart over the course of the day, I mean, if you guys have been watching the chart today, we pushed up to 299. It's almost like we need earnings to push us past 300. That's kind of where we're at. So if we get good earnings, maybe we push past 300. If not, we fall down. But we tapped that 299 and change, came crashing down, and then for the last hour, we have been pushing up. And then, of course, here we are in the last 30 minutes. And I don't know, we're just dancing right here. So we'll see how this plays out. But as of right now, the last hour, we have been pushing up into close. So again, we're basically flat on the day at the moment. Oh, this is exciting. So again, I have an earnings estimate of 88 cents. What's going on, Dominic? My earnings estimate is 88 cents, and consensus estimate is 81 cents. The Tsla IR compiled estimate is 80 cents. So I have a 10% beat. Pejjy is at 94 cents. The whisper number is 89 cents. So I'm just a little bit below the whisper number. So yeah. Loon, what's going on? Concord, New Hampshire. Where's Concord in New Hampshire? I'm about 3 hours from Franconia Notch. So I don't know where Concord is as compared to there, but probably 2.5 to 3 hours, I would think, unless it's further north. But I'm about 3 hours from Franconia Notch, because that's from Lincoln, Franconia Notch. That's one of my favorite places to go. Oh man, yeah. So I mean, really just dancing here right around even on the day now. But again, we were very green, and then we went red, and now we're back to flat and even. So what's going on, Moose? So very, very excited about what's about to happen. And again, I'm happy and prepared either way as a long-term investor. Karav, what's going on, my friend? I want to give a huge, huge shout out to Karav. Because of my job, I'm so busy with things. My spreadsheets that I have put together for everything is like, obviously it did well. I only missed production by 1,230 vehicles, but it was ugly. It was dirty. It needed to be cleaned up. And Karav spent some time cleaning it up for me. So huge props. Thank you, Karav. If you guys do not follow him on Twitter, please do. Tsla Karav. Follow him over there. He puts out every quarter the delivery estimates for a lot of the top people. He's getting more and more people in the list. EPS estimates. He's great about compiling all that information. Sunshi, am I the only person who thinks Tesla will beat? No, I've got him as a beat. I have him actually at a 10% beat based upon the IR consensus of 80 cents. I have him at 88. So I think they're going to beat. Troy Teslake is right at 80 cents. So even Troy Teslake was the worst of all of them, and he came right in at consensus estimates. So we'll see where we're at. Again, margins are big, but one of these things, it depends on how Wall Street's going to look at it, because we are kind of aware of the fact that, margins right now are tough just because of the economy, but this is an unusual time, and margins being this unusually low and still being around, who knows where they're going to be. I have them estimated at 17.5%. So even if they hit that, that's still much higher than legacy automotive makers. And this is like a worst case scenario for Tesla. So I gotta say, I'm pretty excited. Happy earnings day, Alex. What's going on? Yes, Elon tweeted about farting, so I think we'll get a beat. So Elon's clearly in a good mood. One of the things we've noticed over the last couple of years is Elon's behavior and tweets going into earnings. Elon has a lot of things going for him. But again, Elon put out the warning about going into margin. Is that a warning of, hey, we plan on beating a lot, so just be careful, because going forward past this could get ugly. Who knows? Moose, I think that they will beat, but margins will be hit, meaning price will tank. That's the thing is like Wall Street, if they want to tank it, will find something that will tank it. Like they might go back and be like, you know what? Elon tweeted about farting prior to earnings release. We're going to tank the market. We're going to tank the stock. Like, come on, man. When will earnings be released on their website? Usually 4:05. So I'll have it up on here and I'll be refreshing as fast as I can. And I'm not sure, like, if you guys want me to jump to a number initially, like, I'll try to read through it a little bit at a time, but I may go right down to margins and EPS just to get that first, and then I'll come back and go through the entire thing because they usually give us a lot of information in it as well to explain what's going on. Pejjy will be on in a minute. He was just running a little late. Yeah, exactly. Bears are going to whinge about margin short-term views. That's exactly it. So if here he is.
Hello, Oracles.
What's going on, Pejjy?
Do this. Oh man, I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, this is a good time.
Oh man, first time doing this, and honestly, I'm what is this? How long is it supposed to go for? 3 hours? 4 hours?
Oh, 3.5 hours, whatever it is. I'm ready. I got food sitting next to me. I got water next to me. This is great.
Let's go. This is gonna be flipping awesome. So excited. So excited. Sheesh, we got Gaurav. What up? Sorry, I'm just pumped up. Today has been such a day. I've been looking forward to this the whole day.
Oh yeah, Sheesh. Yeah, so excited. And I had a lot of drama going on at work today, so I wasn't like things are happening. I wasn't sure if I was going to get out on time, so luckily I did.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
Dan, hey guys, love your channel. So excited. Earnings is finally here. Let's go Tesla. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate that. And as we're looking right now as the chart, we bounced right at that level, climbing that last hour, and now we're starting to fall with 30 minutes to go. We'll see how we go into close here.
There's a lot of mixed feelings. I'm seeing everybody like on Twitter, they're looking at what Elon is looking at what Elon is tweeting. It's like, oh, he's happy, so the earnings must be a beat. What the
I know. Time right now, Nicholas. Time right now is on the East Coast. It's about 3:40 p.m.
Oh, so here time is almost 10:37 p.m.
Let's see. All right, cool. So we'll ride this into earnings. And Pejjy, I was just telling them that when earnings pop up, I'll probably shoot right down to like margins and EPS because those are the two big numbers that everybody's thinking about. Then we'll go back up at the top and we'll go through piece by piece. And check it all out.
And for a recap, well, actually finish the chart and then we can do a recap after.
Yeah, we'll do a recap. And then if we have time, we can go through the say questions. Yesterday, I made a video with what I think they're going to answer with, and then you can give your take on them as well if we got time.
Let's do it.
Nice. So excited. And then the earnings call. So I know that they're doing the earnings call live on Twitter as well, but I don't know how it's going to play because I've had issues trying to do Twitter feeds on YouTube not coming up properly. So I'm just going to go the old school route and do the YouTube live stream. So we'll be good with that to get it up.
Yeah, we can test that out another time where we don't want.
When it's not as important.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had to plug my laptop in because usually after about 2 hours it dies. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even going to chance it. We'll let this roll.
Right now my laptop's charging, making sure that we're good for the entire stream.
Oh yeah. Oh man, yeah. So I mean, looking, we're still basically flat, but dipping a little bit here. I don't know. This is just the uncertainty going into the end of the day. That's really all it is.
It's just there's a lot of uncertainty. Go like, people are saying it's gonna meet. Some are saying it's gonna miss. Some are saying high as $1.08. It's very all over the place. Nobody knows, and because it's such a weird quarter. Because they sold more vehicles, but we know that margin is terrible. Everyone is just sitting there and waiting to see, what's up. Are we gonna, go over 300? Are we gonna, go back to 200? It's I don't know.
Oh, I know.
It's exciting. I don't get this excited when I travel, man. That's weird.
I mean, looking at the charts today, again, you and I were talking about it. Like, are we going to break 300? Are we going to hit 300? We basically did. We were at 299 and change, and then we had that hard bounce off of that. So obviously 300 is a challenge to break through. And, as far as I'm concerned, it's earnings that's going to be what breaks us through that. And if earnings breaks us through that, above here, we've got 308, which shouldn't be hard to break through. And then 314 is the real hard one. That's the one we could not break last year. But if we break through 314, above that's 322. And above that, there's really nothing stopping us from going to all-time highs. So if we get a great earnings beat and a pop after this and it continues running, we have a chance. We have a chance of getting there.
Wow, to be honest, I kind of wanted to stay, go. I kind of go back down to the low 200s. Want to buy more shares, man. I mean, now that I got the cash ready, and I know you're in the same shoes as I am. We got the cash ready. We wanted to go down for a bit. I don't know.
So, but here's the thing. I think even if we do run up to those levels, I still think we get a massive pullback. As scary as it sounds, and as unrealistic as many people believe, I think it's still possible.
You know what? I welcome it. Let it be.
Yeah.
Let it happen.
Because we know it's going to go back up there. It's not like this is going to be the last time we hit all-time highs.
Oh, no.
What's going on, Sith Lord?
Sith Lord.
Oh, man. So my laptop is plugged in but not charging. Need Tesla to break 300 so I can buy a new one. Yuan has been weak negative on margins. Oh, all right. That's a good point. There's so many little factors that can go into margins.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Oracle. What's your concern? What's your concern going into earnings? Like, what are you worried about?
I wouldn't say I really have any concerns at all. And the reason I say that is because as a long-term investor, I trust the plan that Tesla is on. So whatever the numbers fall at are what they're at, and they'll make whatever adjustments they need to for the long-term plan. I have really no concerns. If they come in at, even if they come in at margins like Pierre was looking at and 15.6%, so be it. No big deal. We just track it from here. We know that they're going to go up from here. Cybertruck coming out, Model 2 coming out next year. It's like, it's not even an issue in my eyes. I mean, looking at what they're doing for energy, Massachusetts landing a $413 million energy deal, and that was just for 2 energy plants for $500 million. That's a small state with 2 energy plants. There's so many more out there, and that's just in the U.S. Think about worldwide how much money they can bring in from energy storage like this.
Yeah, it's gonna be
madness.
But the only concern that I have is, I mentioned it on Twitter, is that if they don't, because last quarter, free of cash flow, if it wasn't for the credits, they would have gone negative. And I'm keeping an eye out for that, the free of cash flow, because yes, they do have 22 billion in cash, but they have about 23 billion in current liabilities that need to be paid. Now, if they are negative in free of cash flow, they would have to dip into the cash to pay off whatever liability. That's the only thing that I'm concerned about. The rest of it, I mean, yeah, cool. We got the EPS, all that kind of stuff. But as a fundamental to the business for this quarter is the free of cash flow. That's the only concern that I am. The rest is, I guess you could say, not hype, but just interesting to see what's going to happen. But free of cash flow is like the main concern.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at that, they obviously looked at this even back in Q3 of last year when they were discussing how, buybacks are on the table. Even if we do get a massive economic pullback, they were still, certain that they were going to be able to achieve whatever they wanted to and still be able to do a buyback if they wanted. So for me, the free cash flow is like, yes, it could be an issue, but that's why they have so much cash. Perhaps this is why they haven't announced a buyback yet, because they were anticipating maybe having negative cash flow. So they were going to have to make sure that they, had that so they could dip into it. So again, I don't think it's going to be anything major, but that is a valid concern, saying, hey, you're going into the negative. Maybe that's what ends up causing the market to pull back if that happens.
Yeah, exactly. I just had a thought.
Do you think we'll miss any the cyber news? I don't know if they're going to announce it here. I'm sure they're going to address it. They're going to obviously speak about the production vehicle that came out over the weekend. I just don't know if they're going to give us any details on it, or if those details are going to come at the actual delivery event, which might end up happening because, whether they announce the delivery event tonight or not, I'm sure we'll hear about it within a couple of weeks. And then at the delivery event itself, they may give us all the rest of the details. But
yeah, definitely there'll be cyber news, 100%.
Dominic, I wanted to go back to 126 so my average doesn't change. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at 221 right now.
No.
Jay Gonzalez, my favorites. I love you. Love you, Jay.
Let's go. Get everyone here. This is gonna be an epic. Freaking earnings. This is my first time, by the way. You guys tuning in. This is my first time doing a live ever for the earnings. So
nice.
Really, I'm really excited.
We're popping his cherry. Sheesh. Popping Pejjy's cherry. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget, hit that like button, folks. Hit that like button. We'll get everybody on here. And we're at 69 viewers right now. Let's get us to 420. Can we get to 420? Let's do this.
Let's go over 100.
They only have $1.4 billion in long debt, so I think they'll be okay. Yeah. And that's the thing, too, is while they do have the $23 billion in liabilities, it's...
Aha. So here's the thing. Long-term debt, yeah, it's 1.3. But short-term debt, if you look at the current assets that need to be paid within the next 3 to 4 months, it's exceeding the cash, which is about 23 billion. That's what worries me.
This is two of my favorite YouTubers at the same time. Yeah, buddy. That's right.
Let's go. So Oracle, do you think they're gonna do hi Tim? Greeting also to Pejjy. We never spoke before. Well, now we have, I guess. Yeah.
Now you have. That's David. He's been with me from the very beginning, like when I first started. So he's been around forever.
There we go. An OG.
Yes. And he is and Pejjy's one of my favorites. I love having him on here.
Likewise. Sheesh. PowerPoint flat. All right. Express Insurance Professionals. Nice. So Oracle, do you think they're gonna announce or any type of buyback? I mean, like,
my thoughts on that, I think they'll announce a buyback at Q3. Honestly, I do. I think at Q3 they'll have a better understanding, because at that point we may know more of what's going on with the macro environment, and they may be comfortable, because it's not like they have to announce it and do it. If they said, hey, we're going to do a $4 billion buyback, they don't have to do it all at once. They can say, hey, we're going to do it, and we're going to start it sometime before the end of the year. And they can start doing it there and just kind of monitor how the economy is going to determine how much they want to do at what time. So I think we may hear about it at Q3.
All right, let's see. Whew. This is getting, I don't know, for some reason I can feel the excitement, and I don't know, this is weird. I would never thought in a million years that I'm going to get excited for a company's earnings report like that.
I know. And I was not into the market 10, 15 years ago. So yeah, I'm curious. And I know like social media things are much different now. We have a lot more access to information. Like, were Apple investors this jonesed? Like, if we had, let's say we had YouTube like it is now, let's say we had Twitter like it is now 15 years ago, would we have seen the same type of sentiment for Apple? We might have.
I mean, that's what I asked Alexandria, like back then, like back in 2008, 2009. Do you think that if we had the exact presence moment of social media, would it be this hype for Apple back then with Steve Jobs?
Yeah, I think it might have been.
I think it might have been too.
And that's why, to me, this is a good way to relate the two and how the stock could move. And I just think Tesla has a much larger total addressable market with much higher dollar revenue potential, which is why this is like Apple on steroids.
Exactly. Oh, man.
Thanks, guys, for helping me in my investment journey. You are most welcome. This is not financial advice, but it is a potential financial suggestion.
There we go. That's a good way to put it. Financial suggestion.
David, let me see. I'm very concerned about Twitter debt, such high interest rates. It is possible that Elon will be forced to sell stocks. I don't think so. Elon did say that while ad revenue was down in June by 50%, it's going back up. A lot of people are coming back in. Plus, by them paying people out, just the blue check marks alone are going to draw a lot more people in. People who are out there who maybe didn't buy the blue check mark for whatever reason. They're like, holy crap, I had 30 million impressions last month. I could have gotten paid. I'm going to pay the $8 to get my money. So they're going to see a large influx of people getting blue check marks. And then because of that, more content creators on Twitter means that more people are going to want to spend for ad revenue on Twitter as well. I think by the end of, and think about how quickly they've done this. This is within 8 months. So I have no doubt by the end of this year, Twitter is going to be in a good solvent place where Elon shouldn't have to sell anything.
Yep, exactly. Especially when they start paying out, the amount of people tweeting now, including myself, has gone on 10x fold.
Oh my God. Yeah, I tweet way more often now myself. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And I want to say right here, please use proper etiquette when you're doing this. If you see something that is good, do not steal someone else's content. Give them credit. Retweet what they have tweeted. Make sure they get credit for it, because it is dirty if you take somebody else's content. That's plagiarism, and I don't like that at all.
Yeah, it happened to Karov a couple times, and
Yes.
and I'm like, hey, yo, gotta give credits to Karov, man. You can't take someone else's info and do it.
Yeah. Don't steal. Give credit, man. Like, there's a lot of great content creators out there, and even retweeting, you're still going to get the impressions from that retweet. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
What are your thoughts on the first Cybertruck photo not having a driver door?
I think the door was open.
Was it? I didn't even notice.
I mean, when I zoomed in, people are saying the door was open, but then I'm like, where would it be open? Like, if it was open, you would have seen it, but I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Maybe it's a slider door now. Just slides in. It's in a pocket. It's a pocket door.
At awesome. This point, I'm not surprised if this thing could hover.
Let's see what else we got in here. About 15 minutes before release. What else we got on here? You guys are awesome. We love you guys.
Yeah.
I remember when only people with access to the QRQ machine are able to follow stocks on the daily. Seriously, like, I think about like stock trading like this prior to just the internet. Like, just prior to, trading apps, it was a pain. When I initially started trying to do some of this, it was early 2000s, and I had E-Trade. Trying to do stuff through that was a nightmare. And then having to pay for every trade, and I didn't have a lot of money, so I'm like, freaking $10 to buy, $10 to sell. Like, this is crazy. I'm like, had I known then though about, just long-term holding, would have been worth it. I would have been like, all right, I'll save up this chunk of cash. I'll spend the $10. I'll get it in there. Would have been worth it in the long run, but here we are now, free trading in most places. So if any of you guys are from around the world and you do still have to pay for trading, just remember, depending on what it is, work it out, get a lump sum put together, figure out where you want to get in. If you're confident on a stock long-term, don't worry yourself too much about it. Figure out whatever dollar cost averaging is best for you, and realize that most likely whatever you pay in those fees will get made up for in the end. But
yeah, no, I can't relate to that because I didn't start investing until 2013, 2012. That's when I was allowed to invest, because that's when I turned 18.
Yep.
So straight to the bank, and that was it. None of this QRP. I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Oh, I know. I'm trying to get my son to take 10% of his paycheck and put it into the market in some manner.
Tesla. Oh, okay.
Well, and he knows I'm huge into Tesla. He's well aware of that. But I want him to be able to make his own decisions. I want to teach him to do his own research and due diligence on what he's going to do. So even if initially he wants to put it in like the S&P index, whatever, that's fine. Put it in the SPY. Don't care. Just whatever's going to be best for him. Looking forward to energy storage deployed margins. Yeah. And energy's, again, that to me is the big one, because now we're at a point with energy revenue where it's making an impact on the bottom line.
Yep. Yeah. Energy, I think, like I mentioned before, it's going to surprise us. It's going to surprise us in a good way.
Oh, yeah. Any suggestions for straddles? I don't do options, so I can't help you there. Sorry. Let me see. What earning numbers news will make it go back to $100? If they come in at under 15% margins and an EPS of like 70 cents, then yeah, I think we're on a terrible. I think we're on a strong downward trend. But
I mean, I'm gonna love it if that happens. It's gonna go
because I'm gonna go.
I mean, go all in even more. But that's at this point, it's unlikely, very unlikely for that to happen.
Could they drop the full video of the Cybertruck crash test? Man, that was such a teaser. Farzad put it out there. He's like, "You want to get blue balls? Here you go." Earnings call at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, that is correct. So I will have it up on here. And again, we're not going anywhere. We'll be on here right through them. But yeah, 5:30.
Yeah.
So if you guys need to come in and go, we know we're going to be on here for a few hours. So
Yeah.
I've got food, I've got dinner and drinks next to me, so I'm good to go. And I don't drink alcohol right now. Not during the work week. I don't do it on school days.
For about another hour and a half until earnings call. Jeez.
Oh, I know. So much. And 10 minutes till the numbers come out.
Oh
man.
Yeah, that. Oh, we're so excited.
I know. And now here we are, last half hour, we're starting to dip. And it's funny because like you try to predict, and you're like, well, is it selling off in the last half hour because we're expecting a pop? Does somebody in the inside know something? There's always that chatter of who knows what's going on, what's happening, who's got the inside information. Yeah. Nobody knows. And then numbers drop and they constantly fluctuate up and down significantly because volume is low. Some people look at some numbers and are like, oh, EPS is a beat. Oh, but then margins are bad and the numbers all over the place.
Yeah, I got my marker here and I have the things to beat. So in about 5 minutes time, like 5 minutes before we get the earnings, let's go over it. What Tesla needs to beat in order to see a rally or just a beat. So it's going to be very interesting. So everyone can see what they're looking for when they're looking at the financial report. What are the main numbers to look for? I have it all here. 3 main numbers.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it right now. We got 10 minutes. Let's go over it. What you got?
All right. Can you make the screen big?
Let me see. I will do this. We'll just do it this way. There you go.
All right, cool. All right, gotta adjust myself a little bit here. All right, let me go here this way. There we go. We can all see. Ouch. Okay. So EPS, we're supposed to beat 81 cents. If we can beat 81 cents, that is fantastic. Oracle is saying 88 cents. I'm saying 94 cents. So let's see. Total revenue, they should be able to be 24.7 billion in total revenue. It's not that important, but it's still a number that Wall Street looks at. Net, and this is excluding stock-based compensation. So they're saying they should beat 2.375 billion. That's the 3 numbers that we're supposed to hit. Now, the main one is this one. The main one is EPS. If we can beat this, the rest doesn't really matter as much. Well, I mean, this would be higher, but revenue, But mainly it's the EPS.
So now the Tesla IR consensus compiled numbers is 80 cents.
It's 80 cents, yeah, but I took the medium.
Right, yeah, no, you're right, because that's what Wall Street looks at anyway, is the 81.
Yeah. And
then the whisper number from what I heard is 89 cents.
89 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what's going to happen. These are the numbers that we're supposed to beat to have a awesome quarter. So 81 cents EPS, 24.7 billion in total revenue, and net income excluding what is it?
Stock-based compensation.
Stock-based compensation, 2.375 billion. These are the numbers that we should be looking for. So sheesh.
All right.
Let's do this.
7 minutes. 7 minutes. Still trickling down 0.5% now going into close. And again, I'm prepared either way. So remember this, folks, none of this is financial advice, but if you are a long-term investor, just take this as a learning experience, regardless of what happens. As far as I'm concerned, if we miss numbers, we already know that the numbers are going to be lower than we have seen in the past just because of what's going on with the economy. Not a big deal. It happens. So look long-term, understand how the macro environment works, understand that as soon as the Fed starts coming down on rates, that means that people being able to get loans is going to be less expensive, which means that more people will be apt to come out and be able to bring on loans to buy vehicles. So not just Teslas, all of them. It's the entire automotive market that's feeling the hit. So this is a very difficult place for large purchase items, people who sell large purchase items, to be in, just because having to take a loan on to purchase them is extremely expensive. So looking at these numbers from a position where it's as hard as you could possibly be, it's like, hey, I want to go run a marathon, but I've got 2 broken legs. So cool. Like, it's awesome that you do a marathon anyway, but doing it with 2 broken legs is just that much harder. So you're expected to be slower. and they're still doing it better than people who don't have 2 broken legs. So
Yeah, and also you guys got to keep in mind that majority of Tesla's sales and profits are coming from the vehicle side, and in this weird economy, I don't know, recession or whatever it is, with high interest rate economy, as or Tim said, high capital things get hit the most, and cars are the top of the list of those after homes. So yeah, if you're a long-term investor, it wouldn't really matter even if they do miss now. What matters is that, are they delivering more cars? Is the other sectors growing, like energy?
yeah,
I'm very curious to know what's going to happen with the full self-driving. But we know that as soon as interest rates come down, as you mentioned earlier, it's going to be, people offset, they delay the purchase of vehicles. So we're going to have a year, it could be 2025, it could be next year, where people say, okay, now the environment's more certain, I'm going to go buy a car. Oh yeah, what car was it again that I wanted to buy? Of course, it's a Tesla, of course. So yeah, that's the market that we're in right now.
All right, so we closed at 291.26. We are looking like we are pushing up in after hours. I'm going to switch this screen over to the where did all my stuff go?
Oh no.
My whole bar is gone. Oh, there it is. Hello.
Oh, there we go.
All right, we'll get up the earnings window and wait and see. Oops. Why won't you let me share it? There we go.
You know, it's hilarious. I'm looking at all the Tesla YouTubers, and they're all going live.
Oh yeah, of course.
They're all live. It's hilarious.
Why is it not letting me do what I want? Oh, there it is. Much better. Silly technology and me being
oh boy,
middle-aged guy. All right. I think we're good now. Yeah, we're good. Now we got it.
All right.
And I'll just keep on refreshing.
Perfect. Yep. Literally in 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
It's like a dog waiting for its owner to come home.
Yep. And the thing is, usually when I'm usually this excited, I get like I freeze, I choke up a lot. It's like, wait, what am I supposed to look for again? Oh, this. Okay, let's see.
Oh, same thing. Oh man, the first couple of times I did this, I'm like, what am I looking for? How do I even read this? Like, I don't know what numbers are anymore.
Oh boy.
Oh man, good times. Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, and hopefully they'll give us more information on Mexico. The official groundbreaking, that'd be nice.
That's also I think one of the main things that is going to be talked about in the earnings call. It's a big deal. Okay, so I'm on the same page as you are, just in case. Gonna refresh the crap out of it.
Oh yeah, that's what I was like. And I know it's not going to come out till 4:05, but for the next 2 minutes, I'm going to refresh it anyway, because why not?
Yeah.
Maybe Elon's going to fart and it's going to come on. Like, that'd be awesome if on the screen, like, refreshing caused a fart noise.
Oh boy.
Yeah. This is
the suspense is real. I don't know.
Seriously. It's like, is Santa here yet?
But I guess this is how pretty much almost every investor feel. Well, they got to be excited about it, about the stock that they're and the company that they're owning. But I guess that's how eager they get when earnings comes out. They just say, okay, let's evaluate. But I don't know. I think Tesla is just a whole different breed.
Oh, seriously. Like, I wonder how many people for other companies, like, I know Palantir's got a big following and things like that, but like, if you could get a number of how many retail investors are sitting here hitting refresh to find out the earnings for every company.
That site crashes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's up.
Up. I don't see it.
It's up. You don't see it? No.
No. What is going on? Here, put it up on your screen. I can share yours.
Hold on. Oh my
I'll keep refreshing
God.
mine too, but
Okay, hold on.
why is it not coming up?
All right. Let's see if I can do if Windows. You got it.
No,
No.
I don't have the shareholder
Where is
deck.
it? Where is
The
it? Is that
shareholder
it?
deck is up. Oh, there it is. I got it. We're good.
Oh, you got it. Okay, I
Yep.
was just about. Okay, cool.
Can everybody see this?
All right, let's see. I'm going full screen right now. Let's see.
All right. I'm gonna take Pejjy and I off of here so you guys can see it better.
Yeah, let's go.
There we go.
All right. So wait, we're looking for the EPS and we're looking for the operating margin.
Yeah. So EPS. Let me see.
Oh, sheesh.
GAAP margins, gross margin 18.2%, operating margins of 9.6%.
Oh my
So that's
God.
way lower. So that, and I was at, you guys gave me crap for 10.6% or 10.9%.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm gonna scream down here. Actually, is EPS up top? I can't remember if they had. They
EPS is up
changed it
top.
last time, so I'm not sure.
Above one more. There it is. Yeah. EPS non-GAAP 91. Yo, they beat
All right. Way to go, Pejjy.
Woo! Let's flipping go. They beat it. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Let me see.
Sheesh. Sorry, I just had to do that. That was.
I'm just curious as to what the actually, you know what? I can't do multiples on here. I'm going to try and see what the stock is doing based upon this information.
Okay.
I just can't bring it up on the screen, but I can at least see it and keep you guys posted. Or if you guys want to share, that's cool too. It's down under. It's at 289 now. It's dipping further. So I wonder if the operating margins are causing pain. All right.
Operating margin is surprisingly bad. I mean, 9.6.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, hey,
let's go
there
from
it
the
is.
start.
First thing.
There
Operating
it is.
margin
Yeah.
9.6%. GAAP operating income $2.4 billion. $2.7 billion of GAAP net income. $3.1 billion
net
of
income.
net.
So hold on, they beat. Yeah, they beat
So
that.
they beat
Good.
that.
They beat that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Operating cash flow of $3.1 billion. Free cash flow of $1 billion.
Nice. That's very good.
That was your concern there.
Yep. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. That means they added 1 billion more on top of the cash.
$0.7 billion increase to cash and investments. So I have $23.1 billion in cash. Cybertruck factory tooling on track. Production RC4 builds. RC builds. 4 is RC builds. Release candidate builds. Okay. So the first one came off the production line. These are just their release candidate builds that are coming out right now.
Oh, okay. Release
and Model Y became the best-selling vehicle globally in Q1. Yeah.
Yeah, we know that. Let's do it.
All right. Summary: Q2 2023 was a record quarter with many levels. Best ever production, deliveries, and revenue approaching 25 billion in a single quarter. Yes. Excited that we were able to reach it. See, these are the things here. So revenue reaching 25 billion, approaching 25 billion single quarter. Those are the fundamental things. Is this still climbing? That's what you want to see.
Yes.
Excited we were able to achieve such results given the macro environment exactly that we are currently in. So they did this despite all of the headwinds. Operating margin remained healthy at approximate 10%, even with price reductions in Q1 and Q2 and early Q2. Reflects ongoing cost reduction efforts. So I have no doubt the sell-off that we're seeing is because of the operating margins.
Yeah, but I mean, everything. I don't know. I mean, I would not financial advice, but I'm definitely gonna buy that dip. That depends how low it goes.
Oh, I know.
All right.
Let's see what else. What's for the guy here? Commitment to AI forefront development entered a new chapter with production of Dojo training computers. That's going to be a major piece going forward. I mean, thinking about putting the vehicles on the road and FSD, that's it right there.
Yep.
In conclusion, we are focusing on cost reduction, new product development that will enable future growth, investments in R&D, better vehicle financing options, continuous product improvement, generation of free cash flow challenges, uncertain at these times, but not over. We believe we are in the right ingredients for the long-term success of the business through a variety of high potential projects. Awesome.
Yeah.
So looking at total automotive revenues, 21.2 billion.
Amazing.
Energy, 1.5 billion. Okay, so that was lower. I was expecting 2. We came in actually lower than Q1. So that to me tells me that they are literally at production cap and they're selling everything they can and they just can't produce anymore, which is why they have the new facilities that are getting built. So
Mm,
So
that
I don't know if
yeah.
that's going to change much, but that seems like that's kind of where they're stuck. Services and other
Okay.
went up, so that's good.
Yeah, that of course. Yeah, total
Operating
revenues.
expenses, yep,
I was so
9.6%.
close with my total gross margin, 18.2%.
Yeah. You
I,
know,
I was thinking, I was thinking 18.3. I was like, darn.
oh, I know. So, I mean, I had 17.5. I was low, but I mean, my operating margin was 10.9 and I was still high.
10.9. Yeah, I was saying 11.9%. So,
Yeah.
sheesh.
Yep.
Wow.
So here it is, the 91-cent EPS.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's a beat.
Um,
That is a big beat. That's 10 cents beat.
yes.
That's amazing.
All right. So
Absolutely.
revenue,
So let's see. Yeah.
growth in vehicle deliveries, growth in other parts of the business, reduced average selling price year over year, which,
Mm,
and don't forget, this is what Tesla wants to do. Tesla wants to bring down the prices. So it's not like pricing coming down is a bad thing. They want to do this.
yeah,
This makes them more competitive when it comes to ICE vehicles. So
that's true.
operating income decreased slightly year over year to 2.4 billion Q2, resulting in the 9.6 operating
Oh,
margins.
wait. I think you missed one.
What's that?
Negative FX impact
Oh, yes, the
of
negative FX impact. Yeah.
600 billion. Yeah, that one is significant. 600
Let's see.
million. Okay. All right, let's
Um,
move on.
oh, here we go. So the profitability, cost of production ramp of 4680s and other related charges. So that's good. So
Mm,
hopefully you get more information about the 4680s.
okay.
Increase of operating expenses driven by the Cybertruck, which obviously that was one of the reasons why I kept operating margins lowest as the Cybertruck. Money going
Smart.
into that. And then AI, I didn't even think about the AI and other large projects. I'm actually curious as to what the other large projects are.
Mm,
Negative FX impact, growth in vehicle deliveries, lower cost per vehicle is a big one, which includes lower raw material costs and IRA credit. And then gross profit in energy business as well as other services. Actually, I wonder, did we see the expenses up here for? We'll check it down here. I want to see the expenses
yeah.
for solar, and then I know Karav wanted to see the solar deployed.
Yeah.
So
This
that
and that.
solar deployed, the megawatt hours came down to 66, or 3.63, 3653. So it's up year over year by 222%, but down from last quarter.
Yeah.
Now, let me see. Mobile service fleet. Supercharger stations way up. And this I know is a concern of a lot of
Whoa,
people.
nice.
Is, with
2,000.
all the congestion on more vehicles out there, they don't want to have to get congestion. All right. And that's just deliveries, basically the same. Total deliveries 466, 140. All right. So Cybertruck is still in tooling. Tesla Semi is in pilot production. Next gen platform in development, and
Nice.
Roadster is in development. And region
Nice.
Various. Here you go.
Yeah, various. There we
region
go.
doing the
Yeah, I
next gen
saw
platform.
that. That's nice.
Yes. So again,
That's
I'm pretty
nice.
sure it's obviously going to be Mexico and India. Who knows where else?
Yeah.
Q2 produced record number of vehicles thanks to ongoing ramps, new factories, strong performance in Shanghai and Fremont. Remain committed to smoothing deliveries throughout the quarter by reducing percentage of vehicles delivered in the third month. Vehicles in transit, test drive, and display vehicles account for a substantive our total days of supply. Gigafactory Texas, in addition to continued success of Model Y ramp, also working on equipment installation for Cybertruck production, which remains on track for initial deliveries this year. Okay.
Nice. But they're not saying this they're not saying this quarter. They're just saying this year. Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yes. We have made notable progress on yield improvement for our 4680 cell production lines. That's good. So hopefully we can hear more about that. Continue to build capacity for cathode production and lithium refining. Shanghai is successfully running near full capacity for several months. We do not expect a meaningful increase in weekly production run rate, as what they said in the first quarter as well. Shanghai remains our main export hub, and I have no doubt Mexico will become the one for the next gen platform.
Yep.
Berlin, our factory in Berlin has produced standard range Model Y vehicles in Q2 for the first time. Building off momentum from a success Q1, Model Y was best-selling vehicle of any kind in Europe year to date, based on the latest available data as of May. Awesome.
Nice.
Market share of Tesla vehicles by region just keeps going up. Huh. Interesting.
Look at Europe. Look at the uptick on Europe.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Europe climbing nicely.
Whoa! Look at that.
Cumulative miles driven with FSD beta. Again, that's what we're looking at.
That doubled.
Yes.
That doubled in a span of 2-3 months. That is insane.
Yes.
It took them 1, 2, 3 years, 2 to 3 years to go from 0 to almost 150 million. It took them 2 months or 3 months to go from 150 to over 3. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane.
And this
Wow.
is exactly why they just want to get as many vehicles on the road as possible.
I mean, at this rate, we can probably see it. We can probably see FSD being solved. I mean, maybe by mid next year or even earlier. If this is how much data they continue to collect, that's just insane.
And then here you go here, knowing that Dojo is going to play a main role in this. Start of Dojo production is July of 2023, projected to be top 5 in the entire world by January of 2024. So 6 months. And 100 exaflops by October of next year.
Jesus. Woo.
Man. So AI, software, and hardware, 4 main technology pillars are needed to survive vehicle autonomy at scale. Extremely large real-world data set. Boom, from this graph here. Neural net training, vehicle hardware, and vehicle software. So the neural net training is going to be the Dojo. We've got the vehicle hardware, which hardware 4 is already coming out. And they've already been talking about hardware 5, which is just nuts. And then the vehicle software, obviously, they're working on that to go into all of it as well. Developing each of these pillars in-house, no outsourcing, all done right there at Tesla.
That's vertically integrated, man. That's
yes.
And
we've now gone green. We've gone green in the stock again, back up to 292. This month,
damn it! Go down, man.
Well, no, it's ticking down again. Hold on. This month we are taking a step towards faster, cheaper neural net training with the start production of Dojo training computer. Vehicle software for our customers getting Model 3 or Model Y for the first time. We will launch the Get to Know Your Tesla experience, where users can adjust their seats, mirrors, steering wheels, set up the phone key, learn about topics such as regenerative braking. That's pretty cool. To help customers discover ongoing improvements in software updates, we now highlight new features directed in the UI, encourage users to try new features they may have missed. Battery, powertrain, and manufacturing. We are now testing Cybertruck vehicles around the world for final certification, which we knew that, and validation. This might be the most unique vehicle product in decades. With that comes training and testing new technologies. As far as we know, Cybertruck will be the first sub 19-foot truck fitting into a garage that has both 4 doors and a 6+ foot bed. Both technologically and architecturally, this vehicle will break a lot of boundaries, very much in line with how we think about vehicle engineering and manufacturing. Cannot wait. All right, energy storage. And again, this is big, but seeing the downtick is not my favorite. Energy storage deployments increased 222% year over year, 3.7 gigawatt hours in Q2. Strong quarter due to the ongoing ramp of the first dedicated Megapack factory in Lathrop. That's huge. And again, when that comes online, it's going to be massive. The ramp of this 40 gigawatt hour mega factory, the first of many, has been many. So again, we're going to see this on in a lot of different countries. We'll see them. Has been successful with still more room to reach full capacity, while energy storage deployment rate can be volatile due to project timing. That's right. So for you guys who don't know, in order for them to have it noted as being deployed, not only does it have to be installed, it has to be plugged in. So just because they install it doesn't mean they can count it as deployment. Somebody can do, a 40 megapack option on order, have them all installed, but wait 2 months to actually turn them on. They have to wait till they're turned on to say that they're deployed.
Yep.
So production rate improved further sequentially in Q2. Okay, so production rate's good. So the production rate is going up. And we know that they're sold out of the mega packs through 2025 or into 2025. Solar deployments remain roughly flat sequentially, 66 megawatt hours, declining year over year, predominantly due to a high interest rate environment. Yeah, that's another. And again, this is not one of their strongest areas, so I'm not horribly concerned. Energy storage to me is more important than solar at the moment. Solar will come along down the road, but right now it's nothing. Second quarter, here we go. Second quarter of 2023 has been the best quarter of supercharging. A significant number of companies, including Ford, GM, Mercedes, Nissan, Polestar, Rivian, Volvo, and Electrify America, have announced adoption of NACS. And Hyundai has the intent of doing it as well. So they're coming over. Charging standard developed by Tesla over a decade ago for their North American products. Further opening the charging network in 2024 will enable both faster market conversion from the combustion vehicles to EVs, as well as growth of our charging network throughout a larger addressable fleet. Awesome. All right, so outlook, volume. Here's their prediction. So we're planning to grow production as quickly as possible in alignment with the 50% CAGR. God, see, Pejjy, this is it. You lose your freaking mind.
Yeah.
They're looking to grow it. And we're up to 295 now. We're still pushing up with the stock. Began guiding in early 221. And don't forget, it doesn't have to be 50% every year. This is the average growth over time. Some years we may grow faster and some we may grow slower. So obviously this is probably a slower type year. Depending on a number of factors, for 2023, we were expecting to mean ahead of the long-term 50% growth with around 1.8 million vehicles. So still at 1.8 million, holding steady to that number. Cash, we have ample liquidity to fund our product roadmap, long-term capacity expansion plans, and other expenses. Awesome. Furthermore, we will manage the business such that we maintain a strong balance sheet during this uncertain period. Profit, while we continue to execute on innovations to reduce the cost of manufacturing operations, over time we expect our hardware-related products to be accompanied by an acceleration of AI, software, and fleet-based profits. That's the big piece. All of those other things coming in are what's going to turn Tesla into a software-based company and have profit margins significantly higher than 30%.
Oh, yeah.
Product Cybertruck remains on track to begin initial production later this year at Gigafactory, Texas. In addition, we continue to make progress on our next generation platform. Cool. So that first production vehicle coming off for the Cybertruck is awesome. But again, that was just a not an actual one, sort of like the semis.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, there's that picture.
There it is. And again, these here, I don't know what these are. What this? Maybe that's the windshield wiper team, and that's their that's their gang sign for the windshield wiper team. Yep, vehicle. And again, so James Stevenson has awesome graphs when you show things like this, like vehicle deliveries. This is up to the right. That's what you want to see, up to the right. Operating cash flow and free cash flow. Again, as Pejjy's concerned, free cash flow coming up. That's nice. Operating cash flow going up. That's nice. So last quarter was questionable. Now going up.
Yeah, because it's choppy because they're ramping up. They're doing capex, is doing all that kind of stuff, reinvesting. So that's gonna be choppy for some time.
Oh yeah, it was just like when Berlin, Austin. We saw it with Shanghai, and then as soon as Shanghai hit ramp, they were good to go. We went to over 30% margins. Then we had Berlin and Austin coming online. We took that hit again. Once they get back up to ramp, that'll be fine.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, vehicle deliveries up to the right. The cash flow, and again, it's because of the macro environment caused it, but they were up to the right, and it's just going to, from here, I think we're going to continue to go up to the right again.
Yep.
And then EBITDA and everything still going up. Again, during very hard rising interest rate environment, still going up. Year-over-year revenue growth. Coming down just because the price is coming down, but now ticking back up again. Operating margins coming down. The entire auto industry is basically flat, and the S&P is here. But Tesla, look at where Tesla is compared to the rest of the auto industry.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. All right. So, okay, automotive
storage,
sales.
So energy storage. So it was 1.5 billion, and then expenses were 1.2 billion.
That's nice.
So what's the margin on that then? So we're looking at
let's see.
300 divided by, is that 20? Was I right at 25% margins? No. Did I do that right?
Let me go ahead and so that's 278 divided by 1.8. That's 18.4%.
I mean, last quarter was 11%. So
yeah, so that is crazy good. Hold on a minute. 2.7. What did I say?
No, 278 divided by, what is it?
No, I was way lower. I was saying 216 as their profits, but
yeah, no, 278 was the profit.
Yeah, 278. Yeah. Okay, no, that's. I mean, even though sales were less, profits, we can see the margins going in, which to your point earlier, it could be because they're hitting capacity and the economy of scale is helping them out. So that could be that.
Yeah. So, I mean, while the storage numbers are down from last quarter, the margins are way up. I mean, look at this. The expenses last quarter were, $100 million more, $130 million more. So cool. I mean, I'm good with
Yeah.
margins going up on energy. Sure.
Yeah, so you were right on with vehicle gross profits of 17.5%. That's exactly what the number I got when I subtract the auto sales to the automotive cost of revenues. 17.5%.
Look at that. I got one right.
There we go. That's literally that's right on point. That's a sheesh moment right there.
Yes.
Sheesh.
I'll take margin numbers at 17.5%. Heck yeah. And the regulatory credits, we knew were going to come down because other people are producing EVs. That's 282. So that number might continue to shrink with more and more automotive makers coming out with EVs. So this whole regulatory credit number may go away soon.
Yeah. And the average selling price is down from 44. So last quarter was 44,600. This quarter is 43,800.
Okay.
So
And I
it's
had
down about
44,000, so pretty close.
pretty close indeed. Wow.
All right. I'm going to actually have to take this and measure it with my whole entire spreadsheet, see how close I was. But
Yeah.
we'll do that. I'll do that later. Let's see. Assets. What else is here that anything that we're curious about in here? I don't think there's anything major.
Gaurav is saying Gaurav is saying in the chat that I saw his message. He says,
and sorry, folks,
COGS
I can't see
plummeted.
the way this is going. I can't see the chat right now.
I know, it sucks. I go through that all the time when I do live. But he's saying COGS plummeted. How do you figure out COGS, cost of goods sold? Where do you go to see that?
Let's see.
Where would you go and find cost of goods sales? How would you figure that out?
Oh, this one I'll answer. Hey, Oracle, could you explain how the stock price goes down even though they beat the margin? I know it's not a binary, but just trying to get your opinion. It's because Elon tweeted about farting. I mean, it's so honestly, it's so random why it goes down. So there's different numbers that different people are looking at, and then you get the algorithms and the computers that are in there trading. So looking at operating margins being down to 9.6%, that could be a big factor for the sell down. But then, of course, going back green again, there's other things, like average selling price being down to 43,800, vehicle margins coming down. So just the fact that we're down in some areas quarter over quarter could be enough to have it come down. So even though we beat in some other areas, it may not be enough. And then you look at guidance, and their guidance wasn't super strong guidance. It was the same that they've been saying, but it's nothing great. Plus other things like the Cybertruck production came out, so some people were anticipating deliveries starting sooner than later, but now we may not see deliveries happen until Q4, so that could put a delay on things as well. There's a lot of different factors that go into their thinking.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's gonna be a roller coaster until we get to earnings, and then even after the call, it's gonna be a roller coaster. Let's see. Getting back to the numbers here. Getting to COGS, I do not know how to figure that out. Karab, if you can help us with that, that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Just because going through so much in here, trying to do it all at once is not easy. Let me see. Cash flow and financing, purchases, expenses. So net income. Yep. Let me see. Stock-based compensation, I had at 420. It came in at 445. Yep. EPS 91, man. EPS 91.
That's amazing. I was at 94, so sheesh. Yep. I think, dude, literally in between us.
Yeah, I know. 88 and 94, like 3 away from both. Like we'd average our numbers and we were perfect.
Yeah, that's it. That's crazy.
Adjusted EBITDA margins of 18.7%. Anything else? They gave us most of the information up top. Yeah. All right. That's the majority of it. If there's anything else you guys have, I'll jump back over here. I'll leave this up on the screen, but I'll bring Pejjy and I back up, and then we'll be able to go through it. We'll go through the chat now and take a look and see what you guys got.
And just posting it on my YouTube right now saying that it was a flipping beat.
Oh yeah. What do we have here?
Oof. Very nice, very nice.
All right, so I'm going to go back through all your comments that you had. Anything I missed here? Wow, you guys are lighting it up. I love it.
Yeah,
Are you
going
not
crazy?
entertained?
Come on, let's break that 200 mark, man. Come on, we're almost there.
Yes, let's do it. Let me see. Going back around, Myra's breaking his F5 key. Seriously, anybody reloading? Let me see. Oh, I went way back. All right. Gross margin was
so
good.
many tabs open. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I'm going through your comments for the last 25 minutes. So give me a second here, folks, just to see if there's anything I missed. I love it all. Yep. Berlin Model Y capacity increased to 375 from 350,000. And they did make that announcement earlier that they are going to be expanding to 1 million, which we knew was coming. So,
yeah, honestly, I'm very happy with this report. How do you feel about this?
yeah, I'm happy with it. I mean, auto gross margin here, you go, X credits is 18.1%. So
hold on.
margins were good. Operating margins obviously down, but lots of expenses for new stuff going on. So it is what it is.
So wait, yeah, is Karov here? I think he left. I don't think he's here because he had to go.
Yeah, I know he said he couldn't stay on long.
Oh, he says total automotive cost divided by delivery. See, that's what I did too. And cost. Oh, right. Yes. Oh, shoot. Let me go ahead and do that right now. 1 second.
Yeah, and look at where the stock. Actually, you know what? I can bring the stock back up now. I'll bring the.
Of course, it's that simple. See, that's what happens when you're too excited. You forget these simple things.
Oh yeah, seriously. And I never thought it was gonna be this hard. I was like, oh, I'll do a live stream, and then I got to the live stream and I completely froze and had forgot how to live.
Okay, so cost of goods sold is just a little bit over 36,000, 36,128. Last quarter, Q1, it was. Let me go ahead and figure that out. 1542. Oh, how much did they deliver last quarter? 422,000.
Yep.
And 75. Is that right? Something like that. Yeah. It's down about like $300 to $400 per. Wow. In 1 quarter, cost of goods sold is down about $300 to $400. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Right.
In a quarter, about 3 to 4 bills. Cheap. Wow. See, this makes me the 9.4 operating margin. I'm not even worried about that anymore. That's not even. You shouldn't be worried. I mean, that's not even worrying. Oh man, this is such a good quarter.
Yeah, I know. And like here, PowerPoint Calendar. Idiots saw operating margin up front and sold. Now buying back. Yeah. Like operating margin's down, but what are the rest of the numbers? Oh, EPS beat. Oh, vehicle margins beat. Oh, COGS went down. Oh, so yeah.
Exactly. Wow. No, this is good. This is really good. This is really good. At first, when you opened up the earnings report and you went down through the thing, I went to operating margin and I saw 9.6 and I'm like, oh no! But then I saw that beat and I'm like, whoa! It was such an emotional roller coaster.
That's why you got to dig through it. Absolutely.
No, this was solid. This was solid, man.
Let's see what else we got in here. Yep, page 13. Cybertruck built to do real work. And that's the thing. Wow. So many people think that the Cybertruck is going to be just a lifestyle vehicle. And quite honestly, you know what? I cannot wait for it to come out and prove them all wrong. And again, I work in construction retail. So for me, I'm waiting for one of my contractors to come in and have it because I know full well I hear enough of them on job sites. If they see somebody on their job site, and these contractors all work together with a whole lot of other contractors, they see somebody come on their job site with one of these, it's going to turn heads. It's just like any construction site, you have a hot girl walk through, everybody's going to stop and look. The Cybertruck is going to be that hot girl. And they're going to see this, and then they're going to ask about it. Well, when the guy who's driving it says, oh, I can do all of these things with my Cybertruck, and like, damn, I wish my truck could do that. Guess what they're going to buy next? A Cybertruck.
That's true. Hey, Tim, can you zoom on me just for a second? Oh, yeah. I want to tick these things off. All right, hold up a second. Let me go ahead and put this on this side. Okay, so we've got EPS. I mean, this is Wall Street saying 81 cents. whatever, it's around there. They did 91 cents.
91. Big old check mark there.
Okay. This one is a dead mark. Let me get a fresh one. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. All right. We're back with a fresh one. So we beat it literally 10 cents. That's a 10 to 11% beat.
Yeah, because I had it at a 10% beat. So
yeah, you got it right on. That's insane. Then we have 24.7 to beat. We did about 24.9. So over 200 million.
beat.
So beats. And net, of course, that has to be beat if PS was the beat. So they did 2.3, 2.4, 2.7.
Big beat. Smoked them all.
Let's freaking go, man.
Yup. I love it.
That was awesome. That's awesome.
And the stock is still sitting pretty flat right now.
I mean, I wish it goes down. Go down. Go to 250. I'll buy 250.
Yeah.
Now, literally at this point, there's no chance the stock to go below 200 unless something bad happens globally.
Right. And then here we go. Yeah, I think 1.8 million is a sandbag. We said that last quarter too. I think you're right. I think
yes, it is.
I think they're playing it conservative. They're saying 1.8 million. This way, if anything comes up, they've got to protect it. I think they've got a ramp set right now where they can hit 2 million if they wanted. But they're going to just lowball it and sandbag it. And as of what they're saying here with production for Cybertruck, looking at maybe 10,000 personally, I think 10,000 is going to be the number maybe they produce this year for actual deliveries. But I think that clarification of the Cybertruck production vehicle kind of put a little damper on things as well, because thinking, oh, they're producing it now. Well, how many are they at? Are they producing 15 to 20 a week? And they're like, no, this is still like, all right, these are the actual builds, but these are still like the test models of those real builds coming out.
Yeah.
So we haven't gotten to actual true assembly line production yet.
So Tim, let me ask you this. What do you think we're going to end off this year with? Since we know that 1.8 million is sandbagging. I mean, that's pretty much a guarantee at this point. What do you think that the actual deliveries are going to be?
Deliveries. Well, this was production. Production was 1.8 million. Where's mine? And I know, thank you to Karav, who updated all of my spreadsheets. Let me see. And I actually haven't even looked at them. I've been so darn busy. I haven't even looked at them. What do I have for this year? Give me a hot second. I'm finding it. Getting there. Production.
Okay, yeah. Because I'm seeing here in the Outlook, they're saying we expect to remain ahead of the long-term 50% CAGR with around 1.8 million. So I think they mean deliveries here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 1.
No, sorry. I think oh well, because Karav like fully updated my production spreadsheet. Yikes, dude. Friggin' awesome. Love that guy. That kid he's amazing.
Yeah, and the dude is like 16, which is insane.
Seriously. I'd have to take a look. He updated it all, so I don't even know how to read my own spreadsheet because it's not even mine anymore. He used all of my numbers, but he just changed the layout, so I can't even see it. But I think I had production around 2 million or just under 2 million, like 1.96, and then deliveries were around like 1.82.
1.9, yeah, 1.1. Sorry, production was 1.96. Delivery is how much?
I think I had it 1.82, but for me, I've got to update my numbers because what I'm doing now is going based on percentage of production delivered. So once I see what that number is, I take the last 4 quarters, average them out, and then I use that for my number to figure out what I think the next quarter is going to be.
I see. Yeah, I think more deliveries towards the 1.9 million made sense to me all the time.
Yeah.
For when they first said 1.8 million beginning of the day, I'm like, that doesn't. I mean, okay. I knew right off the bat they're under promising so they can over deliver, which is very smart to do.
Yes, and Tesla was very, very good at doing that. Going into Pejjy's going to come back. So they were very, very good at under promising and over delivering forever, and then the last couple of quarters just made it hard with the economy. People were just expecting so much. They were expecting that massive beat every quarter, and it just wasn't reality. And we're back.
What the heck was that? What happened?
I don't know. Taking a timeout. Apparently, you were put in timeout. I don't know.
Really? Huh.
So weird.
Is it connected? Well, I'm using hotspot because I didn't want to bring my own modem here or anything like that. So I'm using hotspot, and it's faster than my internet, which is hilarious. But okay, well, we're back. Sorry, you were saying before internet got in between.
What were we talking about?
Deliveries, sandbagging.
Oh yeah. So
Tesla,
Tesla for forever, for like, gosh, all of COVID, they just kept on beating. They were over, under promising and over delivering. They were over delivering forever. And then we got to this harder macro environment where they were telling us that they weren't going to be able to do that, but the market still expected it. And that's why we saw a few quarters where Tesla wasn't doing it almost all of last year. They're like, what's going on? Why is this happening? And they're like, well, the macro environment, it's harder for people to buy vehicles. That's what's happening. Now we're at the point where, okay, we can start coming back up again. So it's nice to be at that point where they can underpromise and overdeliver.
True. Oh, boy.
Let's see. What's a better investment till the end of the year, Bitcoin or Tesla? Depends on your strategy and depends on your outlook.
Bitcoin is, I mean, I have money invested into Bitcoin. I'm not going to lie, maybe like 1,000, but it's hard to track Bitcoin. The problem with Bitcoin is that what is it based on that it goes up on? Is it based on, people devaluing actual currency? If that's the case, then how do you predict such a thing? With Tesla, you can predict it. You can do a forecast on it. You can see the other types of businesses. You can see what's happening. So with that, I could say Tesla is not only a 10 times safer investment, but I think, you can make a very, very decent return with Tesla. But with Bitcoin, you probably could. But what are you basing the numbers on? Like, how would you know? That's my take on it.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at my portfolio, there's a reason why I have 75% of it in Tesla and like 3% of it in Bitcoin.
There we go.
That's it. So again, I think Bitcoin's going to be fine. I think Bitcoin's going to be a good investment, but like Pejjy said, it's so hard to base it off of anything. It's so much more based off of sentiment than anything right now. We don't have regulations on it. We don't have actual functionality behind it, like an actual coin that you can use to purchase things with. Some others are going to get there, like Ethereum, Dogecoin does. So when that turns, that'll be different. But until then, it's just going to be however the market feels like they want to price it. That's where it's going to be at.
Exactly.
Here you go. Lee, what will be the stock price of the next few days? Somewhere between $0 and $500. Realistically, it'll be between 250 and 320 will be where we're at. But trying to come up with an actual stock price, who knows? Seeing as the stock is basically flat, they basically met earnings. I mean, they beat the EPS significantly, but with other numbers and other things that were in there, it's basically flat. So unless they give us some wild information on the earnings call, we might not see much movement at all.
Exactly. Yeah, earnings. The earnings call. We know that they're not the greatest when it comes to their guidance. They usually talk about other things, which confuses the whole market. But yeah, and I think that's the main thing that could bring the stock lower or higher for the next couple of days or so, because we could talk about Tesla bot, which no one at the moment is that significant, right? So let's see. I think it's going to be a good earnings call. I have a good feeling that we're going to get news about the factory, like me and Tim and I spoke earlier about some FSD things. I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be a very nice earnings call. Let's just hope Elon doesn't get off track. That's what's going to drag the. Actually, you know what? Let me get off track. I want the stock to go down. I need to buy more.
Yeah, I wish we could see a video of the earnings call, because I guarantee there's people just kicking Elon under the table, telling him to shut up. Because like it's so funny because just like David here, you know, I repeat, in the short term, the stock market is reasoning like an 8-year-old kid. I want ice cream. No, I want chocolate. Elon is like a child on these earnings calls because he's so excited and wants to tell us things that he knows he can't tell us. And that's why I pay attention to his behavior and his antics and things like that. Because when he gets really excited, you know, there's good stuff that he wants to share, but he just can't.
Yeah. That's Elon for you.
Oh yeah. Congratulations on your maiden voyage, Pejjy. Woohoo!
On maiden voyage. Woo, let's
your
go.
Voyage, your first earnings call live.
No, this was good. This is awesome. This was awesome.
MJP, why is this not going up again?
Why do you want it to go up? No, hold on, MG. Why do you want it to go up? I thought you're gonna buy more.
Yeah,
I thought you want to buy cheap. Like, what do you want? Do you want to go higher or lower?
Exactly. Hey, this is an awesome buy. This is exactly it. So think about it this way, and I've talked to many people about this over the last 2 years, especially when we saw it coming down last year. Everybody was getting so mad. I'm like, if you're long-term on Tesla, I mean, you plan on holding it minimum 5 to 10 years, think about anything that you wanted to buy. If you saw, hey, I wanted to go buy this shirt. It's my favorite shirt ever. And now all of a sudden that shirt is on half price. Would you be upset about that? Or would you be happy about the fact that the thing that you wanted the most is half price? Like, seriously, This is when you see what you want to buy at a lower price, you need to get excited about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, just like Goose here. I don't want it to go up yet. I've got about $2,000 waiting to buy back in. Same. I'm right around that same ballpark. That's it. So I
got like 20 grand waiting to go back in.
Yeah. All of our next up is $300. And again, you know, we're holding. I mean, we're not there. We're basically flat. You know,
yeah, if
292 is where we're sitting right now. So
I just checked the I just typed in Tesla on Google and I'm looking at the after hours, and man, the confusion is hilarious. It's like,
oh yeah,
it's like it closed at what, 291.
Well, yeah.
After the report it went up to 296, then went down to 290. It's like a zigzag moment. It's hilarious.
Yeah, right
No
on the screen. It looks like a heartbeat in a flat line.
Yeah, no one knows what to do. It's hilarious.
Like, well, that, like, you know, like it was said before, like PowerPoint Paladin said, you know, as soon as they saw operating margins, boom, sell off, and they're like, oh, but wait, there's more, and then it goes up. Then look at other numbers, and here we are, right back at flat. They're like, all right, that's a fair earnings call. That's, you met numbers, you beat in some areas, you missed in some other areas. It's good. You got a good earnings.
This is amazing.
Can you gentlemen please explain how EPS of 91 cents affects the stock price? So,
easy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Higher.
So EPS, so the stock price is basically based upon EPS and PE ratio. And then you factor in the number of shares of the stock. So the higher the EPS, that means that's earnings per share. So, you know, you've got 91 cents per share of Tesla stock that is out there as a float, and a higher number usually indicates a higher stock price. So then you have to factor in what people think Tesla should be valued out as far as a PE ratio goes. So looking where we're at right now, I would have to guess we're probably like in low 80s at the moment. And with that being in the low 80s, that is the next piece that's going to fluctuate. So beating on EPS is a good thing. That means that the company is moving in the right direction profitability wise. And then you have to look forward and determine how you want to value that information. And that's your PE ratio.
Yeah. And one little, I guess you could say, advice is you shouldn't be looking at EPS every single quarter. Looking at it on a yearly basis makes it a whole lot better. Makes it a whole lot. It'll make more sense looking at it on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, they have to beat it every single quarter for it to be higher every year. And oh shoot, let me let me see. So,
and then the thing, yeah. And the thing you look at too is there's 3 different ways that people will look at it. They'll look at trailing PE, and they'll take the last 4, this quarter plus the last 3, and they'll do a PE ratio based off of that. Or they're going to take the current quarter, multiply it by 4, and just annualize that. Or they're going to take a look at the future and say, all right, what do we think the future is going to look like? and then they're going to do that. So there's three different ways that people will come up with those numbers. So there's the trailing, there's the future, and then there's the, just the annualized based off of today's numbers.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Oracle. How do you rate this report? Expect better than average results or exceptional reaction? $300 plus tomorrow. Earnings call, I think, will tell us whether we're going to cross 300 tomorrow or not. I don't know if this earnings was enough to push us there. As we saw today, we bounced pretty hard right close to it. And I think we were waiting for confirmation on earnings to make that happen. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. I would rate it I'm a fair. I mean, we came in, I'm happy, very happy with the numbers that we saw. And I wouldn't give it an exceptional reaction, not like my super excited reaction for deliveries, but this is good. This is what I wanted to see. We're moving in the right direction. What do you think, Pejjy?
Yeah. Oh man, this was better than expected in my opinion. But yeah, this was an awesome quarter. I mean, they were saying 80 cents, 81 cents, 91 cents. Like,
that was the number. I'm very, very happy with that. And don't forget, if the whisper number was 89 cents, that's still a whisper number beat as well.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, by about 2 cents. Yeah. So it's great. I mean, the revenue is great. The profit is great. The operating margin, it's down, but we are seeing COGS dropping. We are still seeing cash flow. And actually, cash flow is better than last year, which was amazing. And I want to know how much was credits this year?
280 something.
Oh wow! So that's amazing.
It's way down.
Then that's how you know that. Now that's even better. That's even flipping better.
Because and thinking about it, like that was the big beef that a lot of Tesla Q and bears would say is the only reason Tesla is profitable and showing good numbers is because of the credits. Well, guess what?
Yes.
The credits are now going away, and they're basically, I would imagine they're going to be nearly gone by the end of the year. And they're still bringing in these numbers. So,
yeah. No, that's insane. I'm very happy with this quarter, and I was more happy of the chart, the FSD chart, doubling within 3 months.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Let me do this.
Sorry, we'll go ahead.
No, I'm going to pop it back up just because.
No, that's significant. Like
it is.
I'm not saying people on Twitter talk about that. Like I just posted it on Twitter. I'm like, this is huge. Like the fact that because the more data you can get, the sooner you can solve FSD. The sooner you solve FSD, the sooner you can put FSD software on Teslas around the world. The sooner you can get it approved from governments. As soon as you can get regulatory for it, and the sooner you can snap your fingers and put an update on all Tesla vehicles where you could do self-driving in the country, and you'll see a massive jump in the valuation of Tesla. This is like, I think the biggest data in this entire thing was this chart. I mean, in my opinion, at least, and the one below the Dojo one, but that right there was significant.
Right, and thinking about the fact that's so. Again, going back to the point that people are saying that Tesla should be valued as a software company. Yeah. Elon has said Tesla is more of a software company than anything, despite the fact that their current revenues come in from hardware on the majority. That's going to change very quickly. This graph is the start of showing how quickly that's going to change. Because as soon as, like Pejjy said, as soon as you get this up and running and it hits the ground, that is massive, nearly 100% margin dollars that are going to be flowing in.
That's the thing. That's the most. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I just can't say much. I mean,
Seriously. I mean, and then you think about like when we were discussing the Cybertruck pricing, my hot take on Twitter was that they're going to sell the Cybertruck at 0% margins, because thinking about the people who have reservations on them most likely will be getting FSD with it as well. So even if they sold the Cybertruck at cost, they would still be making $15,000 per Cybertruck in profits. So that's huge. And so they can get away with doing it. So even if they sold the Cybertruck dual motor at $50,000, you do that, you put $15,000 on top of it. I mean, What's the margin there? You're looking at what, almost 30%, over 30% margins now just because of FSD.
Yep.
So
Exactly. Yeah, this is probably the most significant thing from this report. I mean, just going through it, I'm going through it, just looking over of other stuff to see if there's anything. But that is the most significant thing that I can find in this whole entire report at the moment. I mean, that is like, I'm kind of blown away. I'm blown away of that.
And again, that is what the future is going to be holding for us. This core technology page, that is the future that we are investing in right here.
Yep.
And yes,
that
the
is the
hardware.
next S-curve.
Yeah. I mean, vehicles are going to be great. Energy is going to be great. But, Elon's been saying it all along. This is the future of Tesla. And this is what's going to go into Optimus also.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This will tremendously help Optimus, which is like the last S-curve, which is just absolutely insane. But yeah, and for more, if you guys want to go in depth into why this chart, it's extremely important, is that this, as soon as this is solved, now, not financial advice or anything, but as soon as this is solved and they're good to go to use it, and they're allowed to update with snap of a finger to update every single Tesla vehicles out there to have FSD, this is the next S-curve jump. We saw it in 2013. We saw one in 2013 and another one in 2020, 2021. And that's because EVs were now going to be a thing. That's when the market realized that, oh wait, Tesla can now profit from it. Now they can make a lot of money off Tesla. That's why it mooned literally 20x in about a year or two. Now, mind you, we had 4 or 5 years of flatness, but like as you always mention on your channel, Oracle, it's like a rubber band. The more it gets stretched out, the more it freaking shoots up. And this FSD is the next shot up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's it. The Cybertruck's going to be awesome. The Model 2. So I was thinking about it this way: the Model 2 coming out at the same time that FSD being solved and regulated. Every Model 2 coming out with FSD, I'm sorry, because if the Model 2 is going to be sold for $25,000 and somebody's going to be buying FSD on top of it, think about the margins. Those margins, and the Cybertruck could almost be a test, because even if they're going to sell the Model 2, let's say initially when it first comes out, margins are not going to be high. They haven't hit economies of scale yet. But for every FSD package they sell with it, that means the margins are almost 50%.
Yeah. And not to mention, by the time the Model 2 or the new model comes out, the compact car comes out, FSD is going to be more improved. They're probably going to give the customers a 2 to 3 months, just like as they're doing now to Tesla's customers, free for testing. And if it's good now, imagine in 2-3 years time, or in a year and a half time, how great it's going to be. And imagine all those guys who have it for free and they get used to using FSD. They'll just say, you know what, this thing is just a whole new level. I'm just going to go ahead and pay the monthly thing. Yeah, don't, guys, if you guys are watching this, don't sleep on this. This is just another, oh man, I wish I knew moments in the next 2 years. This is yeah, this is what this is.
All right, let's jump into some of these SAY questions. Let's get your take on some of these, Pejjy. So these are the questions that they're going to be, these are the retail questions that they'll be answering on the earnings call. So I did my video yesterday. We'll get Pejjy's take on what he thinks Tesla's going to say for these. Has any automaker approached Tesla to license FSD?
Whew, this is now we're speculating, but I love it. Let's do it. So I was talking to Alexandria, and she said that behind the curtains, she is certain that Toyota is talking to Tesla about the FSD. Now, obviously, all speculation, we don't know. At the same time, I was talking to a guy here in Kuwait who has a Tesla and very knowledgeable. He's in the space for a long time, so he was the right person to talk to. I had a gold mine with him. I mean, finding someone here in Kuwait with a Tesla was impossible. But when I found him, he's a tech geek and he has his own garages, and he's a Tesla investor since mid 2010s, which is perfect guy to talk to. I brought up the speculation what Alexandra said to him about Toyota could be, and he's like, why would they? I mean, why would Tesla accept it at the moment, right? He had another great point, which I totally just blanked out because I'm just so excited. But he said no. They wouldn't. I mean, Oh, what was his reasoning? I wish I had it on camera. This was like when we were just driving around and he just told me this. But he was against that. He's like, no, this is not the case. But if I'll say this, if a lot of companies, car companies, are joining Tesla supercharger network and they're seeing how fast the full self driving is coming in, I would assume that maybe Ford, or as Alexander said, Tesla or Toyota, they opened up the door, or they're already starting a conversation about it, that hey, if you guys do solve this, talk to us, maybe we'll do something about it. But
That'd be funny if Toyota doesn't come on for the North American charging standard, but does take on FSD.
yeah, that would be so ironic.
All right, let's see the next one. And here's one that, obviously they're going to answer in the beginning, and if they don't, we won't hear it. But chances are, based upon the report, we may not hear anything about it. When will you get more information about our Cybertruck orders, estimated delivery schedules, pricing, and specifications? Maybe they will. Maybe they will tell us when they plan on doing it.
Yeah, I mean, they teased us. They already said that the first one's produced. Okay, if the first one's actually produced, so where's the other information?
Yeah.
So they should enlighten us on something.
Next question. Have you considered allowing FSD transferability as a lever to allow existing customers to upgrade to a new Tesla instead of being locked into existing cars due to price of FSD? I know the answer to this one, but let's see if you do.
So let me do that again. Have you considered allowing FSD transferable as a lower level to existing customers to upgrade to a new Tesla instead of being locked in? Oh, so pretty much saying that, hey, if you want the FSD at a lower level, come to a Tesla. Don't go on your.
So what it is because when you buy FSD in a lump sum for $15,000, if you sell that car and get a new one, it does not transfer to the new car. You have to pay another $15,000 for FSD again.
Oh. Yeah, no. Yeah, I think they should do that. I think that would be smart.
So
what do you think, Oracle?
The correct answer is it doesn't matter. And the reason it doesn't matter is because I'm pretty sure when they come out with version 12, it's going to go straight to subscription-based model. So it's not going to matter. They will not allow a lump sum purchase anymore after that. So transferring it from one vehicle to another is going to be irrelevant.
Okay, I see what you mean there.
Because if you're paying $200 a month for your vehicle right now, and you sell your vehicle and get a new one next month, you're still paying $200 a month for it, and it will theoretically transfer to the newest vehicle.
That's true. That's true. So you really think they're gonna take away the full, package if you want to buy it?
They will. Elon already said they are, so it's gonna go away.
Oh man, so then whoever has Tesla should probably buy the whole thing so they don't have to pay.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's why they're going up on the price, is to be able to have that. Just a quick answer, Jack. Yeah, in about 30 minutes, 5:30 Eastern time. So 30 minutes, the call will be
already.
So yeah, and that's why they go up on the price, and they're encouraging people, if you think so and thinking your Tesla is going to last minimum 10 years, buy it now, because when they go to subscription based, thinking about when they do solve it and they have actual fleets coming out to purchase robo taxis and things of that nature, it'd be super cheap for them to buy at $15,000 versus $200 a month or whatever they come up with for the price. So, like if you're looking at what's 15,000, let me see. I'm going to do some.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. The 15,000, if you want to divide that by 12, that's like maybe
that's 1,250 a month.
A month.
But, if you're doing, let's say 15,000 divided by, let's say you have it for 10 years, that's 1,500 divided by 12. That's $125 a month if you're going to have the lifespan of the vehicle be 10 years. So to do a subscription base at $200 in the long term, they'll make way more money.
And I think they'll increase it to 200. They're going to eventually increase it to like, okay, 249 or something. Or
I have no doubt.
299.
Yeah. Whatever the pricing is going to be, it'll be significantly less expensive to just buy it lump sum.
Exactly.
Next question. What is the status of the 4680 cell? How far are you from the specs you laid out on battery day? And what do you expect to achieve when you laid out on battery day?
Oh boy, this I have no idea how to answer.
I know
I have
Drew
no
will
idea.
I know Drew's going to chime in on this one because that's his bread and butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for this one here, even on Q1 earnings call, he jumped in and he was said, it's a 4-year plan. So by 2026 is when they plan on having it. And he said, as of earnings call Q1, he said they're on track. They're actually ahead of pace of where they want it to be. So they're right on track. So we should be fine with that. But that's important because are they putting the 4680s in the Cybertruck? I think they are, but I don't know. As you open the supercharger network in North America to other EVs, do you plan to accelerate anticipatory investments in supercharger expansion to avoid congestion? And how will you deal with the long lead times to upgrade generic T&D services to these areas for multi-megawatt loads?
Yeah. I think eventually, I mean, yeah, they're doing. I think every 12 hours they're making supercharger stations around the globe. So yeah, this definitely going to continue doing it. I mean, it's quite funny because for the first time ever, I'm traveling a week from today actually back to Toronto. So I rented it out the Model Y for literally the next day. I'm picking it up the next day on the 27th, and a Model 3. And the reason why I rented them out is because I'm going like up north in jungle, woods, whatever. And there happened to be a supercharger station in the middle of nowhere. And I'm just like, okay, now I don't have to worry about anything. Let's go ahead and just do the Tesla. Because otherwise, if there's no charging station, I can't. I mean, obviously, it's risky. I don't want to get, so, but then I realized, I'm like, oh, wow, they're all the way up there now. So yeah, I think eventually they will start. I mean, in the US, they have a lot in the US. I don't think it's much of a concern.
Yeah.
But they will continue to build there. In Canada, they are obviously expanding heavily. They're coming in, but there's still a lot of places that if you want to do a whole country run, you kind of need like Nova Scotia. I don't think Nova Scotia has superchargers yet.
Oh, I'm gonna check. I've got several friends up in Nova Scotia. I'm gonna text them right now and find out.
Yeah, see if there's any superchargers there. But when I checked on the map, it was showing empty. And I'm just like, but Nova Scotia is not. I mean, yeah, it's separated. It's a little it's its own island in a way. But I mean, come on, it's Nova Scotia. People live there, so. Yeah, I hope they come to Kuwait. I hope they have an expansion here in Kuwait. I really hope they do that, and they have a service center here. So getting a Tesla here won't be that bad. But yeah, let's see. Let's see.
All right, I'll find out from him. I just texted him.
Nice. Let's see.
Quote of the day: Tesla is still a busted growth story. Gordon Johnson.
Yes, it is.
So
yes, it is.
I had gloriousness the other day. I noticed. I was like, I couldn't see a tweet because somebody had blocked me. Gordon Johnson blocked me. I feel honored.
Gordon Johnson blocked you.
Blocked me.
Put that on Twitter. Put it on Twitter that he blocked you.
So you can't even. Well, it's so hard to actually. No, I can't do that. I can see it.
Do it.
I can certainly put it up there.
Then you join the club. I mean, he hasn't blocked me yet. I haven't talked to him. Have you tweeted at him before? Have you replied to his tweets before?
Well, so for him, I've and for me, I even with Gordon, I'm not one to go out and bash somebody else and call them stupid.
Oh crap! That means I'm next.
So I'm not one to call him stupid, but like I'll go on there and I'll be like, well, Gordon, how about these things, and give him logical question responses to what he's saying, and he would never respond. He just blocked me apparently. I was like, sorry for asking legitimate questions. My bad,
right,
dude.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna. Well, yeah, okay. I gotta be careful. I mean, I don't care, but oh boy, I don't know. I think I don't know. I'm always thinking that this guy has Tesla in his portfolio, but Alexandria said, or was it you? I think it was you or Alexandria. I think it was either one. Said that as soon as he has shares in Tesla, the mainstream media or people are gonna find out and humiliate him to next levels.
Well, he has admitted that I think it's his father was a big exec in GM, I believe it was. So he has a lot of ties to Legacy Auto. So he has a lot of reason to not.
Yeah, did you see that? Did you see that video with Meet Kevin where he said that he was about to put a buy rating onto Tesla, but then his client said, "Don't do that."
This is Gordon?
Did you see that? Yeah, Gordon Johnson was saying that to Meet Kevin with the interview. He was interviewing
Really?
Gordon Johnson. Meet Kevin this was like a month ago. He was like
Wow,
saying
I did
that.
not
So
see that.
yeah, you have to watch it, man.
Oh my
It's
God.
a 45 minute, like just confront me. He's like confronting him, and it's amazing. It's absolutely
Damn.
amazing. And he's just like, yeah, well, when I first saw the test, I was gonna put a buy rating on it, but then the clients were like saying, don't do that. I'm just like, whoa, hold on a second. So you even think it's a buy? You even think it's yeah? It was
Oh yeah.
ridiculous. It was hilarious. You have to watch it.
That's like Craig Irwin is clearly a closet bull, but he comes out bearish. He's like, it's almost like you're looking at him, you're like, well, I really want to be bullish on Tesla, but my company says that I can't be, so I'm not allowed to be. Oh man. Next question. How many Optimus bots have been made, and when will they be able to start performing useful tasks?
Oh boy, we're talking about the bot now. Oh boy. Well, in the last quarter, oh no, it was Investor Day, showing them doing some small tasks. So maybe by now they're a little bit better. I have no idea. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I mean, progress has been decent. I mean, considering what they're doing, and obviously the AI piece of it goes right along with FSD. My thought in talking with Brian was that we would probably end up seeing at least one or two Optimus in the Mexico factory. Thinking about if it comes online in a year and a half, it's a lot of time where it could come out and do something functional in a factory. I think it's possible that we might see them. There's obviously none made right now that are going to be actual production ready to be used for anything other than testing. But we might see it by the time Mexico is up and running. We might see an Optimus bot that is capable of handling some sort of tasks in a factory, even if it's just throwing trash away. When and what is the rollout plan for Robotaxi? What kind of revenue projection do we have for Robotaxi? God, if they answer this, with
Man.
any sort of number that is exciting, forget about it.
Yep. Yeah. I personally, I don't know how to evaluate robotaxi. I don't know how, like when Kathy Wood says by 2027 they're gonna have like, I don't know, like few hundred million in profits, and I'm just like, how are you getting, like, what's the breakdown? How are you doing the calculations? What's the math behind it? Because I can't, I I I have no idea. I have no idea
So
how they're calculating it.
from what I have heard and what I've read, because I've gone through a few of their reports, they take a look at things like Uber, Lyft, and just the current taxi fleet that is on the ground right now in the US. So they take a look at all the revenue generation that is coming in from them and say, all right, well, what percentage of that do we think is going to be taken over by robo-taxis? And that is the number they end up putting on top of it. So they think that,
Okay.
robotaxis are obviously going to be disrupting the current taxi service, Ubers and Lyfts. Plus, is it also going to be disrupting other public transportation like buses? The potential is there. It's just a matter of what areas are they actually going to be disrupting when they come in. And that's how ARK is looking at it from a dollar standpoint. I don't have the time to dive into all of those numbers, but that's how they've come up with at least numbers for robotaxi.
That would make sense. That would make sense. But I don't know. The numbers, they get so big, it hurts my brain. So I don't add it until I can see actual numbers or get some estimated numbers from them. Then until then, not adding it in.
Oh yeah. And again, if Elon does come out and answer this with some astronomical number, people are just going to laugh it off because they're going to be like, yeah, well, whatever. We're not there yet. It hasn't been solved. Who cares? Doesn't matter. And that's exactly what they're going to come up with. Happy earnings, Wes. What's going on, man? So yeah, and I think that's what it's going to be, because even if Elon comes out and says, oh, we think the robotaxi service is going to be providing more revenue than we are bringing in right now from vehicles, people are like, cool, that's enough. That's a random number that doesn't exist, so it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Here we go. Critics of gigacasting contend that the process makes vehicles harder and more costly to repair, essentially pushing cost onto the consumer. Could you share some details about the initial repair experience with gigacasted vehicles? I've never heard of any of that. I don't know if you have.
I mean, no idea. I mean, what they're saying that the repair, like if the car is damaged and they go repair it. Well, I know that it's expensive to repair it, but I'm not too sure if it's. I
So
mean,
think
I
about it
have
this
no
way, like
idea.
being in the field, I'm in like a chainsaw. If you have a chainsaw that's made and you crack the case, the housing of the chainsaw, you have to take the entire thing apart to replace that housing because it's all one
Mm,
giant cast piece. Same thing with a Tesla. So that's what they're saying is if that cast piece is damaged, how do you
okay,
repair that? Because can you actually repair it? Does it keep up its structural integrity? Or do you have to replace that entire piece?
okay. Well, let's see what they're gonna answer with. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that's a big one. And I haven't heard anything of it. The only thing I know of is through insurance. They said, with all the insurance data they have coming in, it helps them learn how to make the vehicle better and easier to repair or even not need repairs if it does get into an accident. So, obviously gigacasting made a world of difference when it came to production speed. So perhaps maybe it is more costly to repair, but the amount of money that they're making and the speed to produce is so much more important. It doesn't matter.
True. And guys, if you guys are well, yeah, you guys are here. Definitely smash the like button, man. Come on,
Hit that like. We like it. And
smash it.
I know full well many of you are probably grabbing some food because we have 15 minutes before the call. So
Yeah.
hope you guys are. What are you guys eating for dinner tonight? Actually, maybe it's not even dinner time for you guys, right? You guys are all over the world. This is one of the things I love about
Yeah.
YouTube is I would have never been able to have these connections with so many people around the world.
Yeah, it's awesome. For me, it's past midnight.
Oh
But
yeah.
I mean, I've before the call I had like my dessert already, so I'm good for the day. Maybe I'll have a protein shake before sleeping.
I've got my salad here, but I'm so excited. I'm not even sure if I want to eat it, but I really should because if not, I'll be starving later.
Oh.
Let me see. This one I think we'll hear about. Can you provide some guidance on when we can expect first vehicles to be produced from Giga Mexico? Will it serve as a major export hub to North America and beyond? That one I want to know about.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, of course, I mean, why would it not be an export hub
Right.
for North America? Like what? I mean, of course it would be. I mean, I mean, if someone in New York wants a compact car, what they're gonna say no? Of course not. It's land border. So no, definitely, I think it's gonna be an export hub for sure. First vehicles to be produced. First vehicles being produced, maybe. What are we? We're in mid 2023. We can probably see end 2024, beginning 2025. That would mean that a year from now, we could probably see the release of the compact car, which is extremely exciting. So
Yes. Well, probably
that is
this
achievable.
time next year. I wonder if we end up getting the Cybertruck delivery event in September. I almost wonder if the following September we'll get the delivery event for the Model 2.
Yep, that's true.
Timing wise, that will probably work out that way.
Yeah, and that's gonna be insane. You're gonna have Cybertruck ramping up. You're gonna have the Model 2 coming in, and then you're gonna have like, oh my God, 2024, 2025 are looking awesome.
Yeah, it's serious. And then going into 2026, when all of this awesome stuff is ramping and hitting full ramp, watch out. Yeah,
Man, that's why I'm all in, man. That's why.
now I got a question for you, Pejjy. What do you think about this? If Mexico is going to be pushing out the next gen vehicle, and clearly we know that platform is going to sell extremely well in places like
Oh
China
yeah.
as well. Do you think Shanghai, somewhere under the radar, is going to be ready at the same time to be pumping out this next gen platform as well?
Well, they are saying they want to double the size for Giga Shanghai at the same time when they're trying to do Mexico. So yeah, could be because look, if they're gonna go to India and build a plant there, I mean, it's gonna take. Well, I mean, Mexico is not even started yet, or maybe they just did. But if they want to go to make a whole entire new plant in India, that's gonna take more resources, more time, and more money. While they can just upgrade in Shanghai, and they have the engineers, they have the workers, the employees, they have all that, and all they got to do is upgrade it or expand it, and then all you got to do is just make the cars.
True.
And
And
so
then,
yeah, I would definitely like to see them do it in Shanghai, Mexico, and if India happens, 100% in India as well, because then you will have this Model 2 around the globe. You can feed every single continent if you
Oh
have
yeah.
just these three. And if you have other factories coming in, like another gigafactory coming in, let's say Indonesia or maybe one in Dubai, or I don't know, the other gigafactories they want to build, then yeah, of course. Yeah, Shanghai, definitely. I mean, if they're talking about expansion, why are they going to keep building Model 3s and Model Ys?
Yeah. And then also thinking about it too, when it comes to Shanghai, that's their major export hub now. They've got all those logistics down. They know what those are like. So it would make sense for them to be just throwing out Model 2s from Shanghai as well, because they already know what those logistics are like. They can factor those costs in. Coming out of a new place like India is going to throw it off because they don't know what those numbers are going to be. Maybe it's different. Maybe they're going to tax them differently. So
Yeah, exactly. So definitely Shanghai. I mean, Mexico can't be the only place where they make the compact cars. It's not.
right.
It won't make sense.
Yeah,
So
I think they're going to end up going in
definitely.
tandem with someone else.
Yep.
Uh, this will be. Oh, this is actually a newer question. Can you talk more to the upcoming Tesla energy products and how your thinking has evolved on the revenue model? Given Tesla's AI capabilities, how do you see the long-term mix between hardware margin and recurring software margin from, example, auto bidder as this segment accelerates? I like that too, because I didn't see that question the other day.
This is the long term mix between hardware margins and recurring software. Hardware margin, that would be the vehicles, correct?
Hardware
The
margins.
hardware.
Well, this is all energy, so this would be megapacks, power walls, things like that.
Energy. Yeah, I'm not too familiar or too deep in Tesla or in energy products. The only thing that I am is megapacks, and I know they sell about 2 to 3 million a piece, but I don't know the revenues or sorry, the profit margins, the costs, all that kind of stuff deeply. Like, all we know is the statement of operations that shows us how much it costs and revenue, but in terms of between hardware margin and recurring software, this I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm running through numbers again, trying to. Yeah, I mean, obviously margins are going up on hardware. Auto bidder is going to be huge, just because auto bidder is now you're going to be able to get your money. You're going to get your energy for less, and then be able to sell it back to the grid. So, like that's going to be massive in cutting costs, and then more and more people are going to end up coming over to Tesla because why not? The cost savings are going to be astronomical. So
Exactly. Yeah, I know energy. No one should sleep on it.
oh
Energy
yeah,
it's bigger business than full self driving in some ways. So don't sleep on energy at all. I see energy when they keep increasing the profits and revenue. It's gonna be of a base. It's gonna support the stock not to go lower. It's gonna be like that rock bottom. You know what I mean? Like, the more energy you have, the more profits you have from energy, the higher the low it will go. That's how I see energy as. It's like that little, that strong defender for it. That's how I see in terms of the stock price, at least.
yeah. Yeah, and again, because Tesla has so many different areas that they're going into for revenue generation, that's going to create several different floors for the stock price. So even if one area
Exactly.
falters a little bit and another one's doing well, like, how do you even factor that in? It doesn't matter. It's like Apple when
Exactly.
they come out with software revenue, Mac revenue, iPad revenue, iPhone revenue. If one doesn't do well, the other ones can pick up the slack.
Exactly.
Roadmap for Tesla Solar. Obviously, that's kind of flat at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, this one was on here the other day. It has recently been mentioned that FSD will, quote, leave beta upon the release of version 12. Can you expand on what a betaless version of FSD would look like? At what point would Tesla feel comfortable taking on driving liability?
Yeah, I'm very curious for that as well. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Here you go. Hanif, he's the one who came up with my potential financial suggestion. Now you're in it. Pejjy financial suggestion. PFS, baby.
Not financial advice, though.
Nope, not financial advice. It's just
financial
a potential financial
advice.
suggestion. Oh man. All right. 5 minutes till the earnings call. Let me make sure I've got that up and running and ready to go.
Do it.
So exciting. Let me see here. That is on this page right here. And now this I have to try and figure out because Brian showed me how to do it last time to get it on here. And I wanted to do it in a way that we could all see. So I'm going to play with it right now, make sure it's up properly.
Right.
And again, it doesn't matter. We're not going to be able to see anything. It's more for the audio piece of it anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm going to switch over my audio because I've got to do it from my Mac. Beautiful. All right. That's set. All right, we'll mute that for now. Wait. When I go to full screen, it goes blank, and we get nothing. So I have to do it. I have to do it in theater mode. And oh, there we go. Wow, that was never
perfect.
And we're good now. Okay, so now we're all set.
Cool. So you want to get like something to eat, or I mean, when they start talking, I think we're gonna go mute.
Well, when we go, because I can't, because I've got to play the audio, but I'm just going to take us off the screen. So we'll just have this up here and I'll eat while we're doing this. So
cool. Sounds goodies.
Let me see. Beautiful. All right. I'll do it that way. So yeah. So as soon as it comes on, I mean, I'll put it back on and we'll just do low volume. All right. Beautiful. Oh boy, cannot wait to see what happens when Elon comes on and talks about what's going on. You remember last year when Elon's like, oh yeah, you know what? I might not be on these earnings calls and I'll only be on there when it's important. And he wasn't on for one earnings call and has been on every single one since.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah. I guess they're all important.
Yep. He did say that they're not that important, but I think there was a big fuss where he wasn't in it. In one of the earnings calls, there was a massive fuss that, oh, why isn't the CEO here? That's just terrible. Every earnings call for every other company, there's a CEO. How come he's not there? See, he's doing other thing. He doesn't care about Tesla. Stock goes down like 20%. You know, so that's why, like, you know what, Elon? Come here. Unless you increase the personnel and you got people that can, do your part, or people think that people are doing your part. Until then, you keep coming on.
Yeah, and seriously, and it's like just proof that you can't make everyone happy because like everybody gives him shit for him being on there, and they're like, "Oh, why does he say these things? Why does he do that? Why does he do this?" And he's like, "Fine, I won't be on the earnings call." It's like, "Why weren't you on the earnings call?" Like, dude, like all you want to do is complain.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's just hilarious.
So Elon's still out here tweeting about how he loves fashion. So.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. I want to point this out since we have a little bit of time. Is okay, Elon is a CEO of the company and he does have a responsibility, but the fact that a lot of investors go like, he has to focus 100% on Tesla. Why? He doesn't need to be there all the time. The dude has SpaceX, dude has Neuralink. He's got boring company. He's got Twitter now, and he probably has something else coming after Twitter. Those who think that Twitter is going to be the last thing that Elon's going to do, you guys are sadly mistaken. And yes, I'm getting ready to buy the dip again when he does something else.
Yeah.
But Elon, look, the dude has a team that does much better than him.
Right.
That's all.
He can't do it all himself.
Yeah. You think the man is sitting there like freaking Putin going like do this and do that and gets involved in the military? No, he doesn't do all that. He just sits there and he goes like, listen, how far are you with the FSD? Good. What do we need to do? Good. Who do you need? This. We need to hire this. Okay, that's it. Done. What is he doing with Twitter? He just hired Linda. He hiring people. Oh man, I don't know.
That's the thing too is like. Before everybody was like, oh, Elon, the key man risks so many things. Everything revolves around Elon. If anything happens to Elon, the stock's going to crash. He's like, all right, well, I'll put a giant team in place that can take care of things. And I really don't have to do much. Why isn't Elon doing anything anymore? It's like, you literally said your concern was a key man risk. He eliminated that risk. And now you're getting mad. Like, come on.
Yeah, that always, like, it ticks me off a little bit. I'm like, listen, like Elon doesn't need for the FSD, okay, to a limit, yes. The bot, 100%. If you want to make the bot the thing, you need someone like Elon to, drive, to sit behind it and drive it like he did with the Cybertruck. Because I think recently there was a news coming out that people were against the Cybertruck in his own team, and he's just like, no, we got to do something, that's crazy, kind of like what Steve Jobs did with Apple.
Yeah, because
So
they wanted a traditional truck, and he goes, look, he's like, we're doing this. If
Yes.
later on down the road we want to do a traditional truck, we'll do it. But
Exactly.
first, we're coming out with this.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what Steve Jobs kind of that's exactly what he did with Apple. People were like, we can't do it. Like, no, we got to do it. Oh, we can't do it. You're fired. What the heck? So Elon is actually a more nicer, obviously, but we need that type of innovation from him. But that's all we need from him. We don't need him to be day to day there to sit there and go like, oh, okay, what do we do with FSD today? No, man, that's not what he needs. That's not his job.
Let him run his strengths. He'll find other people who are stronger at things that he's not strong at. Oh, are we on?
Exactly. Oh, we're on? All right.
Nope, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Music was just changing.
Oh. Yeah, so that's the beef that I have with a lot of investors going like, he needs to be there. God, no, he doesn't.
I know. Oh, any minute now will come on.
Elon's probably late.
Yeah, JB being on the board is huge.
Yeah. Man.
I have a feeling, and I said it before, I have a feeling JB might be the CEO of Tesla within the next 3 to 5 years.
That would be extremely bullish if he is.
Because
I'm more comfortable him being the CEO than Tom Zhu. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah. Oh, people are coming on.
Oh.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tesla's second quarter.
Let me know the volume, everybody.
Q&A webcast. My name is Martin Vieca, VP of Investor Relations, and I'm joined today by Elon Musk, Zachary Kirkhorn, and a number of other executives. Our Q2 results were announced at about 3 p.m. Central Time in the update deck we publish at the same link as this webcast. During this call, we will discuss our business outlook and make forward-looking statements. These comments are based on our predictions and expectations as of today. Actual events or results could differ materially due to a number of risks and uncertainties, including those mentioned in our most recent filings with the SEC. During the question and answer portion of today's call, please limit yourself to one question and one follow-up. Please use the raise hand button to join the question queue. But before we jump into the Q&A, Elon has some opening remarks. Elon?
Thank you, Martin. So just a Q2 recap. In Q2, we achieved record vehicle production and deliveries and record revenue of about $25 billion in a single quarter. And Model Y became the best-selling vehicle of any kind globally in Q1, surpassing the likes of Corolla and Gold. So it was the #1 vehicle of any kind, including vehicles that are sell at a far lower price. This is, I think, an incredible achievement by the Tesla team, and just a huge thank you to our customers for their support. This came in spite of high interest rates and a lot of macro uncertainty, and nonetheless, we managed to achieve operating margin of about 10%. We continue to target 1.8 million vehicle deliveries this year, although we expect that Q3 production will be a little bit down because we've got summer shutdowns for a lot of factory upgrades. Just probably a slight decrease in production in Q3 for sort of global factory upgrades. In the long term, autonomy, we think, is going to just drive volume through the ceiling next level. And our sort of future robotaxi products, the dedicated robotaxi products, we think have like quasi-infinite demand. The way we're going to manufacture the robotaxi is also itself a revolution. And so it's revolutionary design made in a revolutionary way. It'll be by far the highest units per hour of any vehicle production ever. So we're very excited about that. With respect to Autopilot and Dojo, in order to build autonomy, we also need to train our neural net with data from millions of vehicles. With the more, I mean, this has been proven over and over again, the more training data you have, the better the results. I mean, there are times where we see basically in a neural net, it's sort of at 1 million training examples, it barely works. At 2 million, it slightly works. At 3 million, it's like, wow, okay, we're seeing something. But then you get like 10 million training examples. It's like, it becomes incredible. So there's just no substitute for a massive amount of data. And obviously Tesla has more vehicles on the road that are collecting this data than all of the companies combined by, I think, maybe even an order of magnitude. So I think we might have 90% of all, or a very big number. The success in AI endeavors is a function of talent, sort of unique data, and computing resources. And we have outstanding capabilities in all three arenas. And I really just don't know how anyone could do what we're doing, even if they had our software and had our computer, if they did not have the training data. So speaking of which, our Dojo training computer is designed to significantly reduce the cost of neural net training. It is designed to, it's somewhat optimized for the kind of training that we need, which is video training. We just see the need for neural net training, again, talking about quasi-infinite things, is just enormous. I think we expect to use both NVIDIA and Dojo, to be clear. But we just see a demand for really vast training resources. We think we may reach in-house neural net training capability of 100 exaflops by the end of next year. So to date, over 300 million miles have been driven using FSD beta. That 300 million mile number is going to seem very small very quickly. It'll soon be billions of miles, then tens of billions of miles. FSD will go from being as good as a human to then being vastly better than a human. We see a clear path to full self-driving being 10 times safer than the average human driver. So, and between Autopilot, Dojo computer, our inference hardware in the car, which we call sort of hardware 3, 4, but it's really dedicated. It's a high efficiency inference computer that's in the car, and our Optimus robot. Tesla is clearly at the cutting edge of AI development. With regard to our Cybertruck, we continue to build release candidates of the Cybertruck on our final production line in Austin. I'm actually here in Austin at the Gigafactory. This is the first truck that we're aware of that will have 4 doors, over a 6-foot bed, and will fit into a 20-foot garage. So it's sort of biggish on the outside, but it's even bigger on the inside. So I think that's one of the elements of good design is it should feel bigger on the inside than it looks on the outside. And this is no small car, but we really cared about the exterior dimensions of the Cybertruck down to the last millimeter. So it's just we're trying to get right in the middle of the Goldilocks zone, not too big, not too small, and then really maximize the utility of the volume. And we can't wait to start delivering it later this year. Some other highlights: our global supercharging network now stands at over 50,000, roughly 50,000 connectors and over 5,000 locations. As I think a lot of people are aware, the Tesla charging standard, which we made open source, and is now called the North American Charging Standard. We're deeply honored that Ford, GM, Mercedes, and many other OEMs have signed up to use our connector and gain access to our charging network. We strongly believe in helping other car companies to accelerate the EV revolution and just trying to do the right thing in general. So that's our goal there. Then something I think I want to emphasize like very, very strongly, this is a very important point, is that Tesla, just as with the North American Charging Standard, although we're not licensing, in that case, we're not licensing, we're just making it available. but we are very open to licensing our full self-driving software and hardware to other car companies. And we are already in discussions with, early discussions with a major OEM about using the Tesla FSD. So we're not trying to keep this to ourselves. We're more than happy to license it to others. And lastly, our new lithium refinery and cathode facility are progressing well. Then in conclusion, we continue to focus on making as many cars as we can while maintaining healthy financials. Our artificial intelligence development is obviously entering a new era, and we're incredibly excited about what's to come. Our other businesses, such as Megapack, supercharging, service, and whatnot, all started to become a meaningful contributor to overall profitability this quarter. And then lastly, I'd just like to profusely thank all of our employees who are making a lot of extra effort during uncertain times. Thank you very much for your hard work and the impact you're making.
Thank you very much, Elon. And I think Zach has some opening remarks as well.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. As Elon mentioned, Q2 was another record quarter of production and deliveries, as well as records in profit for our energy and services and other businesses. Congratulations again to the Tesla team on the continued progress. As we navigate through a period of economic uncertainty, rising interest rates, volatility in consumer confidence, and regulatory change, I want to comment on our financial approach. First, the single most important priority is to ensure we are continuing to invest heavily in the core technologies that will drive the long-term value of the business. This includes increasing spending on AI-related technologies such as full self-driving, Optimus, and Dojo, as well as new products such as Cybertruck, our next-generation platform, and the Semi, as evidenced by the continued growth in our R&D spend. This also includes continuing our investments in capacity expansion, not only in our vehicle factories, but also our supercharging network, service, internal applications, and battery processes, as we continue with meaningful capital expenditures to lay this foundation for the future. Second, we continue to work towards our goals of maximizing volumes on both our vehicle and energy business, but most importantly, doing so in a way that generates the capital to continue our pace of R&D and capital investments. This requires a strong focus on per unit COGS reductions in each of our key businesses, as well as working capital improvements on raw materials, work in process inventory, and customer AR, all of which progressed appropriately in Q2. If we look specifically at our automotive business, our gross margin showed a modest reduction and remained healthy, despite action taken to further improve vehicle affordability early in the quarter. We realized per unit cost improvements in nearly every category, including material cost and commodities, manufacturing costs, and logistics, while also continuing to rapidly increase the build rate in our Austin and Berlin factories. For our energy business, we improved margins and gross profit driven by cost reductions and deal economics, particularly with Megapack. As a reminder, storage volumes are typically volatile sequentially based on the types of projects and their specific revenue recognition milestones. As we look forward to the rest of the year, I want to reiterate Elon's comments on Q3 volumes driven by planned downtimes for factory upgrades. These upgrades will also carry some amount of factory idle cost. However, we are working to minimize as much as possible. It's also important to keep in mind the uncertainty in the macro environment, which can impact our execution positively or negatively in the near term. Regardless, we continue to remain dynamic with a focus on fundamental efficiency and a long-term outlook. Congratulations again to everybody on a great quarter.
Thank you very much, Zach. And let's go to investor questions. The first question on licensing FSD, we've already answered. So let's go to the second one. The second question is, what is the status of 4680 cells? How far are you from the specs you laid out on Battery Day? When do you expect to achieve what you laid out on Battery Day?
Yeah, first I'll just start with a little bit of a production update. So in Texas, 4680 cell production increased 80% Q2 over Q1, and the team surpassed 10 million production cells produced here in Texas. So congrats to the team for that. Their focus on yield reduced our scrap bill by 40% quarter over quarter, and that resulted in a 25% reduction in cell COGS. Here in Texas, we're preparing to launch our Cybertruck cell, which is 10% higher energy density than current production. That was accomplished through process and mechanical design optimization. As we scale Cyber cell production through the end of the year and early next, we should be in a comfortable place on cost per cell. Against our battery energy density targets, the Cyber cell is at our expectations on a like-for-like electrochemistry basis. We're yet to integrate silicon or in-house cathode production, both reviewed on Battery Day, which do bring significant further energy density and cost improvements, but that is a topic for another day. Lastly, it is important to remember that most of what we focused on at Battery Day was the Tesla engineered 4680 production system and the improvements we strove to achieve on equipment, factory density, capital costs, and utility cost reduction, all of which we are realizing in our Texas scale up to date.
Thank you very much. The next question is, can you talk more to the upcoming Tesla energy products and how your thinking has evolved on the revenue model? Given Tesla's AI capabilities, how do you see the long-term mix between hardware margin and recurring software margin from AutoBidder as this segment accelerates?
We can't comment on future product roadmap, but I can provide a quick energy Q2 update. Megapack continues to show strong demand globally, with Lathrop ramping successfully to meet our contracted projects in 2023. As stated last quarter, Megapack margins are in a reasonable place in line with our target market, vehicle target margins. The second final assembly line at Lathrop is progressing on schedule, eventually doubling Lathrop capacity ahead of our full factory ramp in 2024. We have several exciting large projects in construction or nearing completion, including the KES project in Hawaii, the Riverina project in Australia, several projects in California, and one here at Gigafactory Texas that I toured today, actually. We want to thank our customers, utilities, and grid operators for trusting us with these projects. On the AutoBidder question, we continue to grow AutoBidder contracts in wholesale markets like Australia, Texas, UK, and California with over 6 gigawatt hours under Tesla's dispatch next year. In the UK, our project performed best in the industry in Q2. AutoBidder does have software margins and is an enabler for hardware sales, but it's a relatively small contributor to revenues given how much deployment growth on the Megapack hardware side is occurring. It's important to remember that these large capital projects have lifetimes of 20 years, so recurring revenues on an annualized basis relative to upfront CapEx are small. On the residential side, we have some fun things happening. We recently surpassed 500,000 Powerwalls installed. Just this week, we were launching Charge on Solar, which allows Tesla Powerwall and vehicle customers to charge their vehicles using their excess solar and drive only on the sunshine that hits their roof. Yesterday, we began paying customers in Texas for participating in our virtual power plant to provide grid support to ERCOT. We expect these credits to lower our median customers' annual bill by a third and to increase these credits over time as ERCOT expands market access. And today, we are expanding Tesla Electric enrollment to new Model 3 owners in Texas, followed by all Texas vehicle customers over the rest of the quarter. Unfortunately, and somewhat similar to Tesla Insurance, bringing Tesla Electric and VPP capabilities to our customers requires working through a fractured regulatory environment on a jurisdiction-by-jurisdiction basis. In the long run, the value of residential energy, software, and hardware will be driven by the level of market access that utilities, market operators, and regulators permit. Where Powerwall is eligible to provide the full stack of energy services, like peaker capacity and system buffering, such as in Australia, we can more than double the value of ownership relative to a typical system today.
Thank you very much. The next question is, could you quantify the benefits to COGS per unit from the IRA battery manufacturing incentives? And secondly, battery raw material declines year to date.
All right, I can take that. On the first part of the question for IRA manufacturing incentives, we provided previous guidance that we expect these to be for the course of this year in the range of 150 million to 250 million per quarter. We are staying within that boundary as we guided previously, so that was the case in Q2 as well. I will note, I think we've mentioned this before, that this includes a 50-50 sharing of credits for qualified cells from our long-term battery partner, Panasonic. On the commodity side, we are continuing to see improvements there, as we've discussed previously. Lithium is the most notable improvement so far. I think I commented on this on the last call, because typically we see this coming about a quarter before it actually is realized in our financials. And also, just as a reminder, we're not fully exposed to the price of lithium. Our supply chain team has done a terrific job in partnership with a bunch of other companies to put in place some long-term agreements here, but we do have some exposure that moves up and down. We're also seeing benefits in aluminum and steel, which I think is great. Not as large as the lithium impacts, but they contribute nonetheless. So if we add up the total impact of this in Q2 relative to prior quarter, it's about the same size and magnitude as the IRA benefits that we also received. Just to put this in context, as you look at COGS per unit sequentially from Q1 to Q2, I think there's two things to keep in mind there. The first is that our SX mix for deliveries increased quite a bit from Q1 to Q2. So as you think about fundamental cost reductions, it's important to adjust for that. And then secondly, as we continue to work on reducing our Austin and Berlin costs, which we did quite a bit of that from Q1 to Q2, these factories are still slightly above Model Y production costs elsewhere. And in the quarter, our mix of Austin and Berlin related builds increased. And so that's something to consider as you model out the impact from Q1 to Q2 in terms of COGS per unit. I do want to ask Karin if there's anything else on the commodity side or just more generally you want to add here.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Zach, we've naturally been a little bit hedged from the lithium position because of the long-term contracts we have in place. But we have seen reduction in pricing across the board for all commodities that specifically go into batteries, such as nickel, cobalt, and graphite. And the reductions in pricing translate into thousands of dollars when you look at it from a per vehicle impact. We're taking advantage, expanding some of those fixed price contracts through the end of the decade. So it's a playbook that we'll continue to kind of go back to as we look to the future.
Thank you. The next question on FSD. Have you considered allowing FSD transferability as a lever to allow existing customers to upgrade to a new Tesla instead of being locked into an existing car due to the price of FSD?
Yeah, this is a question we get asked a lot. So we're excited to announce that for Q3, we will be allowing transfer of FSD. This is a one-time amnesty. So it needs to be you need to take advantage of it in Q3, but or at least place the order in Q3 within reasonable delivery timeframes. I hope this makes people happy. But we're not going to do this is a one-time thing. Okay.
Right, the next question: When will you give more information about the Cybertruck orders, estimated delivery schedules, pricing, and specifications?
The demand is so far off the hook you can't even see the hook. So that's really not an issue. I do want to emphasize that the Cybertruck has a lot of new technology in it, like a lot. It doesn't look like any other vehicle because it is not like any other vehicle. So at the production ramp will move as fast as the slowest and least likely elements of the entire supply chain and internal production. So I wouldn't expect I hope it's smooth. We're certainly better at production ramps than we've got a lot of experience with production ramps, but first order approximation is there's like 10,000 unique parts and processes in the Cybertruck, and if any one of it'll go as fast as the least lucky, least well executed element of the 10,000. So always very difficult to predict the ramp initially, but I think we'll be making them in high volume next year, and we will be delivering the car this year.
Thank you. The next question is, critics of gigacasting contended that process makes vehicles harder and more costly to repair, essentially pushing costs onto the customer. Can you share some details about the initial repair experience with gigacast vehicles?
That must be why everyone's copying us.
Yeah, thanks, Elon. This is Lars. And Martin, that's like simply not true. There's a misconception that traditional bodies are easy to repair, but they're made of multiple materials and multiple joining methods. Spot welds and rivets have to be drilled out. Panels and structural adhesive have to be chiseled out. Dried adhesive has to be removed. Stampings cut, blah, blah, blah.
It's a crazy patchwork quilt.
Yeah, and so putting that back together means time and money. Using an example of replacing a rear cast rail on a Model Y, to do that versus like what we replaced it with from the Model 3, it's 10 times cheaper and 3 times faster to do it with the cast rail. My design team works with our collision repair team since we're closed loop on this with insurance, and we design specific parts that will make it easier and faster to repair. And we have an incentive to do that because we have our own insurance and our own body shops. We expect that we'll continue to do this, and collision repair will continue to become cheaper and faster over time. And we already make this available to all body shops through our Tesla-approved body shop training.
Yeah, closing the loop on collision repair, factoring that into design is a big deal.
It's crucial. I don't think anyone else can do it with the ecosystem that we have. So.
Yeah, and we are actually able to change the details of the casting with inserts, and we actually do that all the time. So because the inserts actually wear out and need to be replaced anyway, so we can actually make design changes to the inserts and tweak the castings. But the casting, basically cast rear body or front body is lighter, cheaper, better for noise, vibration, harshness, much easier to manufacture, and it's better in every way. And that's why so many other car companies are copying us. Because probably they certainly put out a lot of press releases about it. I think it's basically going to be how all cars are made in the future.
Thank you. Next question. How many Optimus bots have been made, and when will they be able to start performing useful tasks?
10 million. Yeah, I think we're around 5 or 6 bots. Like, we're like 10, I guess. Yeah, it depends on which. How many are working in what phase? But it's sort of. Like there's more every month. There's a lot of interesting things about the Optimus bot. We found that there are actually no suppliers that can produce the actuators. There are no off-the-shelf actuators that work well for a humanoid robot at any price.
Certainly not compelling humanoid robot.
Yes, not a humanoid robot that can do stuff that the things that a human could do. So we've actually had to design our own actuators that integrate the motor, the power electronics, the controller, the sensors, and really every one of them is custom design. And then of course we'll be using the same inference hardware as the car. But we are in designing these actuators, designing them for volume production. So they're not just lighter, tighter, more capable than any other actuators that we're aware of that exist in the world. But it's also actually manufacturable. So we should be able to make them in volume. The first Optimus that will have all of the Tesla designed actuators, sort of production candidate actuators, integrated and working should be around November-ish. And then we'll start ramping up after that. In terms of when we'll be able to do some useful things, we'll first be trying this out in our own factories and just proving out its utility. But I think I think we'll be able to have it do something useful in our factories sometime next year. I would be, yeah, I'm pretty confident of that. So yeah, and it's going well. I should say another cool thing about Optimus is that, you know, there's just in the US alone, there are 2 million amputees. I was just talking to the Neuralink team, and by combining a Neuralink implant and a robotic arm or leg for someone that has had their arms or leg or all arms and legs amputated, we believe we can give you basically a cyborg body that is incredibly capable. $6 million man in real life. But don't cost $6 million. $60,000 man. So sounds impressive, but it'll actually, you know, so that actually could be a really, I think would be incredible to, you know, potentially help millions of people around the world, and give them, you know, a robot arm or leg that is as good, maybe long term better than a biological one.
Thank you. The next question is, how has the order intake trended relatively to production levels during Q2? And how is it trended in the quarter to date period? Conceptually, how does Tesla decide when is it appropriate to reduce prices or add other sales incentives to increase demand?
Yeah, I guess demand is roughly tracked production. Which is what we aim for, we look at, you know, something that we have that really, I think no other car maker has, is that we have real-time demand and real-time production. Like, so 7 days a week, you know, I get an email, order-generated email, it shows output from all factories and orders globally. So it's like a real-time finger on the pulse of Earth, basically. And we you know, we adjust course according to what the mood of the public is. You know, buying a new car is a big decision for the vast majority of people. So, you know, anytime there's economic uncertainty, people will generally pause on new car buying, at least to see what happens. You know, and then obviously another challenge is the interest rate environment. As interest rates rise, the affordability of anything bought with debt decreases. So effectively increasing the price of the car. So when interest rates rise dramatically, we actually have to reduce the price of the car because the interest payments increase the price of the car. And this is at least up until recently was I believe the sharpest interest rate rise in history. So we had to do something about that. And if somebody's got a crystal ball for the global economy, I really appreciate it if I could borrow that crystal ball. DM us. Yeah, exactly. DM me on Twitter. It should be known on Twitter. I mean, one day it seems like the world economy is falling apart, and the next day everything's fine. I don't know what the hell's going on. To be totally frank, I wish I did. So I mean that's why I say, like, I always on Twitter I posted, like, just really advising, because I care a lot about the sort of the small shareholders, especially ones that have stuck with us through thick and thin. I love you guys, and we can't control these macro shocks, or the manic depressive nature of the stock market. So that's why I recommend against margin loans in times that are turbulent. If times are not that turbulent, actually a margin loan can be a smart move within reason. But we're in, I would call it, turbulent times. I have very high confidence in the long-term value of Tesla. I see it, I really, see a path to a 10x. Well, maybe not these days, they'll call it a 5x. increase in the value of the company, maybe 10x. But where things go along the way, the trials and tribulations and the mood of the markets, one cannot predict. And so, the old adage of buy and hold is right. For investment advice, I say, like, identify a company whose products you love. See if they, does it seem like they'll continue to make good products or great products? Buy that stock and hold it. That's it. You will win. The reason companies exist is to make goods and services, ideally great goods and services. They don't exist for any other reason. They shouldn't. So that's why you should buy a stock of a company that makes great products and has a great future pipeline. It's common sense, actually. And then generally, if you provided you're confident about what that company's products or services are, when the market panics, buy, and when the market is, overly exuberant, you can sell. I'm not recommending you sell Tesla, but buy low, sell high. Warren Buffett actually, I think, has a saying, I'm paraphrasing him, but a publicly traded company is like, it's like imagining you're living in your house and a crazy manic depressive guy comes and stands at outside your house and yells property prices at you. So it's a different price every day, but the house is still the same house. So this is a stock market. You credit that to Warren Buffett.
Thank you. Let's go to the next question. With the emphasis of price cuts to drive volume growth eating into automotive gross margin, can investors expect to see automotive gross margin stabilize or even rise due to efficiencies outpacing the cuts? And if so, when?
Oh, man. Where's that crystal ball again? If I may, it's like, look, the short-term variances in gross margin and profitability really are minor relative to the long-term picture. Autonomy will make all of these numbers look silly. I'd recommend looking at ARK Invest. I think their analysis is very good. The best, and generally, FinTwit or like the finance, the smart finance people on Twitter, follow their accounts. They're great. That's in my opinion where you'll get the best info. I strongly believe Tesla is a big long-term investment, and don't sweat it when things go up and down. In fact, if the market panics, buy. If the market's a little too exuberant, sell at the time. But just generally, like I feel confident. We will deliver over the long term, but can't control short term. So, and the autonomy is really where it's at. I mean, Zach, what do you?
Oh, I fully agree with you. I think the only thing in the short term that matters is what I said in my opening remarks, which is, are we generating enough money to continue to invest? And, the portfolio of products and technologies that the technical teams are investing in right now, this is intense. It's intense in terms of investment. It's intense in terms of potential.
Frankly, I think it's ridiculous that we have positive free cash flow in a capital-intensive business while investing massive amounts of money in new technology. That is super hard.
And vertical integration. It's not even just like new products, but also.
Yeah, we actually make our shit. We don't,
And so,
others, but Sorry, that's interesting. Very cool.
And so at least from my perspective, what matters is continuing to generate the cash to invest. That means continuing to be hyper-focused on near-term cost reduction, because everything we do in near-term cost reduction provides capital to reinvest. Hyper-focused on working capital management, of which we've made quite a bit of progress there on the raw materials and WIP side of that. We've been very focused on accounts receivables as well to ensure that we can continue to reinvest the cash. This is what we're focused on.
Yeah.
And, so there's, a set of this that we control. We have a pipeline of cost reductions. We are getting tailwinds in the commodity space right now, as Karn mentioned. That's helpful. Variability around average selling prices, goes back to Elon's point. We don't control interest rates. We don't control macro consumer sentiment. But we have an obligation to be responsive to that, to ensure that we're matching supply and demand and keeping things balanced. And so this is how we're managing the next handful of quarters. Soon enough, these quarters will be behind us. They won't be part of the present value of future cash flows of the business. And so we want to make sure we keep that view and make sure that the long term of the business is exactly the way that we want it to be.
Well said. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. And now let's go to analyst questions. The first question comes from Dan Levi from Barclays. Dan, feel free to unmute yourself.
Great. Good evening. Thank you. Wanted to start first with a question about your efforts in AI and Dojo. It's pretty clear. It sounds like you're accelerating your focus. Can you maybe provide us with a sense of what the process is of refining the product? Is it more machines? And maybe you could give us a sense of, when the payout when you start to see the payout and what the resource outlay is, what should we expect on the OpEx front as a result of this?
Sorry, are you saying how much are we going to spend on Dojo, or?
Yeah,
R&D of Dojo.
Yes.
Well, we're not going to be open loop on our Dojo expenditure, so, but I mean, I think we will be spending, certainly north of $1 billion over the next year on through the end of next year. It's well over $1 billion in Dojo, yeah. So I mean, we've got a truly staggering amount of video data to do training on. And this is another thing. I don't like in order to copy us, you also need to spend billions of dollars on training compute. I mean, it's like, and it's also hard to, you need the data, and you need the training compute. It's like, I think all the things needed to actually achieve this at scale to a generalized solution for autonomy this is one of the hardest problems ever. You see a lot of AI companies doing, LLMs and whatnot. And I'm saying, if they're so great, why can't they make a self-great driving car? Because it's harder. That's why. So, but I do think I think there's some, great AI companies out there. But just fundamentally, the staggering amount of data we've got to process has got to be processed somehow. And custom silicon is the best way to do that. So that's what Dojo is designed to do is optimize for video training. It's not optimized for LLMs. It's optimized for video training. With video training, you have a much higher ratio of compute to memory bandwidth. So whereas LLMs tend to be memory bandwidth choked. So that's it. I mean, but like I said, we're using a lot of NVIDIA hardware, and we continue to we'll actually take the NVIDIA hardware as fast as NVIDIA will deliver it to us. Tremendous respect for Jensen and NVIDIA. They've done an incredible job. and frankly, I don't know if they could deliver us enough GPUs, we might not need Dojo, but they can't. So they got so many customers. They've been kind enough to, nonetheless prioritize some of our GPU orders. Yeah, the sheer magnitude of video training, because like I said, we're not trying to just get as good as human. We want to get to, 10 times better than human, maybe 100 times better than human. Right now, I believe there's something on the order of 1 million automotive deaths per year. And then if you say permanent serious injuries, I think it's probably closer to 10 million per year. So it matters if you're twice as good as human, 10 times, if like 10 times better than human would still mean 100,000 deaths and 1 million severe permanent injuries. So it's like, okay, well, we'd rather be 100 times better. So there's really, it's a march of nines, and we want to achieve as perfect safety as possible. It's vast, truly mind-boggling amounts of video and computer needed for that. So, and then I do think there's other applications for Dojo, but we just desperately need it for video training.
Great. Just to add to what Elon mentioned, so the numbers that he mentioned are between R&D spend and capital spend, and this is moving quickly, and so we provide a 3-year outlook on our capital expense. We are considering these expenses in that outlook, and as that moves up and down, we'll continue to update our guidance in the Q.
Yeah, I want to say the fundamental rate limiter on the progress of full self-driving is training. That's if we had more training compute, we would get it done faster. So that's it.
And it's just difficult to predict how quickly we can execute on it.
Great, thank you. Just as a follow-up, I recognize there's some incredible macro uncertainty right now, but you're sticking with your near-term, your volume target of 50% CAGR. As we just think about sort of in the year ahead, Cybertruck is going to be some contribution. There's going to be some help from further EV penetration growth, but to what extent are you willing to sacrifice on pricing to keep that 50% volume CAGR intact? Or are you thinking differently about margins versus your prior commentary of willing to sacrifice on margins to get more share?
It's not about getting more share. It's just that you can think of every car that we sell or produce that has a full autonomy capability as actually something that in the future may be worth as much as 5 times what it is today. Because average passenger vehicle is doing like maybe 10 hours of driving a week. If let's say it's 1.5 hours a day on average, that's 10 hours a week ish. If you've got an autonomous, if that vehicle is able to operate autonomously and be used in some either dedicated autonomous or partially autonomous, like Airbnb, maybe sometimes you allow your car to be used by others. Sometimes you want to use it exclusively, just like Airbnb, doing Airbnb with a room in your house. That the value is just tremendous. So I think it does make sense to sacrifice margins in favor of making more vehicles, because we think in the not too distant future they will have a dramatic valuation increase. I think the Tesla fleet value increase to the point at which we can upload full self-driving and it's approved by regulators will be the single biggest step change in asset value maybe in history.
Thank you. Let's go to the next analyst. The question comes from Emmanuel Rosner from Deutsche Bank.
Thank you very much. 2 questions from me as well. First, following up on the autonomy. So, before you start launching these dedicated robotaxi vehicles on existing vehicles, you're improving FSD, incrementally. What is your latest targeted timing to essentially release a non-beta version or an eyes-off version that would trigger much higher take rates? And would Tesla benefit from lowering the price of FSD?
Well, obviously, as people have sort of made fun of me, and perhaps, quite fairly have made fun of me, my predictions about achieving full self-driving have been optimistic in the past. The reason they've been optimistic is what it tends to look like is we'll make rapid progress with the new version of FSD, but then it will curve over logarithmically. So at first, like logarithmic curve looks like just sort of fairly straight upward line, diagonal up. And so if you extrapolate that, then you have a great thing. But then, because it's actually logarithmic, it curves over, and then there've been a series of stacked logarithmic curves. Now, I know I'm the boy who cried FSD, but I think we'll be better than human by the end of this year. That's not to say we're approved by regulators, and I'm saying that would be in the U.S. Because we've got to focus on one market first. But I think we'll be better than human by the end of this year. I've been wrong in the past. I may be wrong this time. And the price of FSD. So the weird thing is the price of FSD is actually very low. It's not high. When you go back to what I was saying earlier, the value of the car increases dramatically if it is actually autonomous. $15,000 is actually a low price, not a high price. Now we will offer, and I think we do sort of offer FSD as a sort of monthly subscription, although like most people don't know that. So I'd recommend maybe trying it out as a monthly subscription, so you don't have to go with the $15,000 thing. But I think, obviously if the car is worth several times its original price, $15,000 is actually a low price for FSD.
Thank you. And the next question comes from William Stein from Truist. William, go ahead and unmute.
Great. Thank you very much for taking my question. I'd like to ask about to stick on this AI topic. We read, with great interest the developments in Dojo today, and you've spoken about FSD. But you've also, Elon, you've started this X.AI company, and for investors that think that there might be quite a bit of value in the AI features and products of Tesla, it might be concerning to see you, pursuing another endeavor where AI is the focus. So can you talk about how X.AI might overlap, might perhaps compete with Tesla, or in other ways, perhaps it enhances the value of what Tesla does? Thanks very much.
Yeah, I think it will actually enhance the value of Tesla. There really were just some of the world's best AI engineers and scientists that were willing to join a startup, but they were not willing to join a large, sort of relatively established company like Tesla. So I was like, that's actually how it got started. I was interviewing a few people, and they're like, no, we want to do a startup. I was like, and that's all. I couldn't convince them to join Tesla. So I was like, okay, well, better it's a startup that I run than go work somewhere else. That's kind of the genesis of XAI. And XAI is focused on sort of AGI. So it's but I'd like to say I think there will be some value that XAI brings to Tesla. Also some of the best, for the very best people in the world, they really just want to work on interesting problems. So if you take, say, our material science group, really what convinced Charlie Kerman to leave Apple, we were very happy and well compensated, and both where we think is the best material science group in the world, was that he got to work at both Tesla and SpaceX. He wasn't willing to leave Apple if it was just Tesla, but he was willing to do it if it was Tesla and SpaceX. So sometimes you get the best talent in the world. That's the kind of thing you need to do, and that actually has been very beneficial to Tesla. So,
if I could squeeze one more mundane question in, I wonder if you think you can hit the 1.8 million unit number with current pricing, or do you anticipate needing to continue to lower prices? Because it seems like they've stabilized. The trends have stabilized in the last maybe month and a half. Should we expect a sort of continued decreases or more stabilization for the rest of the year?
Sure. We have a really sort of restarted the referral program, which I think will be quite effective. As Zach was saying earlier, we don't control the macroeconomic conditions. So if interest rates continue to rise, that reduces the affordability of cars. And for a lot of people, they're really trying to balance, they're just barely breaking even every month. In fact, if you look at the rise in credit card debt, they are in fact not breaking even every month. Credit card debt is looking scary. So we just don't control the macro conditions. If macro conditions are stable, I think prices will be stable. And if they're not stable, then we would have to lower prices. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's go to Colin Rush from Oppenheimer.
Thanks so much, guys. As you're building out Dojo and implementing what truly is going to be a highly complex set of software, can you speak to the maturity of the operating system and how much outsourced software you're expecting to use in that system?
This is a custom software stack, so but it is designed such that you can run at a high level PyTorch and JAX. But then we have to customize it to actually run on our custom silicon. So the software stack is a combination of open source software and then Tesla software all the way to the bare silicon, which is the case for the inference computer in the car.
Okay, thanks so much. That's super helpful. And then can you speak to how you're managing some of the geopolitical risks relative to your capacity expansion? Obviously, as you guys continue to grow at this rate, you're going to be putting some folks out of business, and there's going to be some impacts around regional economies. So just want to understand how you're thinking about that in terms of some of your CapEx plans and how you're managing some of those relationships with different countries and regions.
Well, this is a period of unusual geopolitical risk. So I think the best we can do is, have factories in many parts of the world, such that if things get difficult in one part of the world, we can still keep things going in the rest of the world.
Thank you. The next question comes from Mark Delaney from Goldman Sachs.
Thank you very much for taking that question. Tesla has been making progress reducing cost and did so again last quarter. Can you give an update on when you think automotive COGS per vehicle could be under the historical $36,000 per vehicle level, and what are the key puts and takes to get there?
I think it was asked this in the past. This is very difficult to forecast. There's a series of costs that we manage. There's a series of costs in which we don't control. And so, particularly on the commodity side, where labor costs go, et cetera, it's just hard to say.
Yeah, we saw very inflationary pressures, like strong inflationary pressures for a while last year. And now which obviously makes it very difficult to reduce COGS. And now we're seeing what seem to be deflationary pressures. Certainly deflationary, but deflation is a pressure. But we're seeing commodity prices dropping as was mentioned. As Karan mentioned a moment ago. I think. I mean, what do you think? I mean, basically the trend seems to be deflationary at the commodity level.
Definitely. There's that, and then there's also the unit economics improve as volumes grow. That's the other thing we're seeing as we're becoming a bigger and bigger part of a lot of suppliers. Economies of scale come into play. There's equipment depreciation that comes into play. Equipment that was commissioned 5 to 7 years ago that used to be a part of the piece price. That's completely amortized. So we'll see situations where piece price comes down because that equipment contribution has gone away. And then just we continue to have this mentality of continuous improvement in terms of labor, reducing labor, improving automation, and just continue to get better at what we do. So we have seen, I think every quarter we have seen an improvement. Of course, the commodities spiked up and down, but just in general, the trend is towards being more efficient.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, but lithium prices went absolutely insane there for a while.
Yeah, and they're recovering now.
Cobalt's like a third of what it used to be.
Yeah, and we're still early in the ramps. Well, not early in the ramp, but early in the cost down curve of Austin and Berlin.
Yeah.
And so it takes time to work the cost out. At first, it's focused on ramp. Ramp brings cost down.
Ramp and quality, and then ramp and quality cost.
Yeah, and then once that stabilizes, we can divert bandwidth to cost reduction. And so Austin and Berlin saw quite a decent amount of cost reduction on a fundamental basis from Q1 to Q2. We'll continue to do that work. That will be helpful. And so we're just going to keep chipping away at it.
Yeah, packaging is a big element to that.
Yeah, logistics too.
Logistics is normalizing, which is great.
Qbot utilization, something that the team has been very focused on. So every bit of it.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Logistics is underappreciated. Yeah, the old saying goes like, battles are won with tactics, wars are won with logistics.
Yeah, and we made tremendous improvements in cost in all fronts. On expedite costs, we are down to pre-pandemic expedite cost levels now, and our goal is to go further down.
So when we look at our progress from Q1 to Q2 on cost, the way that we look at internally, and normalized for the impacts of mix shift with Austin and Berlin being a higher percentage of our mix, normalized for SNX being a higher percentage of our mix in Q2 versus Q1, the sequential cost reduction, it might be the largest we've had in a while. So I think it's great work on behalf of the Tesla team, and we just got to keep it up.
Yeah, it's a game of pennies. It's like Game of Thrones with pennies.
Mark, do you have a follow-up question? I think you're muted.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you very much for all the details on that. Maybe you could put a finer point on the downtime impact that you spoke about in your prepared comments, in terms of production impact, and then also to what extent there's a margin impact from those factory upgrades that you're planning this quarter. Thank you.
Yeah, the downtime, we don't know exactly the number of cars impacted because, kind of the way that we go into downtime windows for upgrades is, we set aside a period of time, but then the team is challenged to go as quickly as possible so that we can get the factories up and running again and minimize that. It's not profound reduction, hopefully it's quite small.
I think we're getting too much into the weeds here. I mean, we're asking for a level of precision that is not possible to answer. So let's move on.
Yep. I think this is unfortunately all the time we have for today.
Okay.
So we'll speak to you all in the next 3 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Give me 1 second.
Oh my God. I don't know where to begin. Holy sheesh.
My goodness. Yeah, there's a lot we got to unpack here. Give us a second, folks. I'm going to get this back running. Do this. There we go. All right.
Where do we
Oh,
start, man? Where
man.
do we start?
Rob, one quick thing. Recommend TSLY? I do. Not financial advice. I cannot do that, but I am buying. I love TSLY. Dividends are amazing. So yes, I am buying more tomorrow. I'm not dumping heavy into it just because I don't know, but I will be
Yeah.
high dollar cost average, so I will be adding more.
Yeah, I'll be. I mean, post market is now to 270. Holy Jesus.
Yeah,
280 now. Yeah,
280,
it's down about 4%. I don't know why it's down. It doesn't make any sense to be down, but let it go down. Let it go down. I mean, oh boy.
Yes, that
Or
has been a great call.
Tim,
So where
what do
do
you
we
think,
start?
man?
So
Where do we start?
so many things. Well, first off, it's awesome. Elon thinks, and we know he's sandbagging, that the value of Tesla can go up. He sees a roadmap for it to go up 5x. So
Yeah, 5x at least.
yes.
So
So
that's what? That's a 5 trillion valuation.
Yes.
That's doable. That's doable. That's absolutely.
Yep. And then, looking at, FSD becoming better than humans by the end of the year, give or take 2 weeks. That's obviously huge. But, with Dojo coming online, I'm not going to bank on it. Either way, we know it's coming. This is what I take away from that is this is really the first time we've seen Elon like, all right, we've now seen all the hurdles that we faced. We thought we were going to get there. Then we realized that we kept hitting ceilings and couldn't get past it. Now it seems like Elon does not see a ceiling anymore. It's a straight line. We're getting there. He mentioned just the amount of miles and the data that they have coming in. He said they're going to be getting to tens of billions of miles. We've been showing that, the graph alone doubling in this last quarter, that's going to exponentially grow over the next year. So that's why he can see that many miles will be coming in to be able to get us into the billions by the end of the year. That's the data they need to be able to get us solved. So
tens and billions. I mean, at this point, the way how it just doubled within 3 months. Ah, man, that's what I'm saying. This is such a big deal. All right, let's keep going. I guess there's a lot to unpack.
Let me see. What else did we have coming out? So many things. Let me dive in. All my tweets. I was tweeting a whole bunch of stuff. I saw you were tweeting as well.
Yeah.
So looking at what was next on here. Yes. The question that we had was, are there any companies out there that are licensing FSD? There is a major OEM. And as Pejjy said, he's getting word that Toyota's the one. So don't know if they are, but there's a major OEM. And a thought that I had about it when I was just responding to somebody was, think about how legacy automotive makers operate. They have gotten so far away from vertical integration that they outsource everything. They use third parties for everything. Tesla is now going to become that third party because they don't know how to do anything in-house. They just find somebody else who does it and they pay them to do it. It's just, that's how they're going to operate. And again, just like the supercharger network, while they're not licensing it out, they're all adopting the NACS. It's going to happen with FSD. And we already got word that it's happening. So
did they say a major or
he said major. He said a major OEM. Yeah, he said they.
So it's one. So major. Could be Toyota.
Could be. Could be Toyota. I mean, obviously Ford has been working on their own. Maybe they decided partway into it that, hey, they can't do it, so they're going to just go and partner with Tesla. Seems like Elon and Jim Farley have a pretty good relationship, so that might be the case. Either way, a major OEM, there's a lot of them out there. And again, how many other ones out there are working on autonomy? Like, we know Ford GM's got Super Cruise, but like, does Hyundai have one? Does VW have one? Like, who else is actually working on autonomy? And if they are, obviously they're not close, but who else is working on it?
Yeah, that was a big part. That was, I mean, and here's the thing: if one major automaker gets FSD licensed, that's a ripple effect. That's a domino effect. The other will come, and the other will come, and the other will come. Oh man, this is huge. This is absolutely huge.
Oh, exactly. And the big piece about it is, like you said, one after another. And the closer Tesla gets, even if they are working on their own FSD, if they realize that they're so far away, they're going to just scrap the project and be like, why waste our time and effort and money on this? Tesla's there. We know we're at least 5 years away. There's no point. So we might as well just give up and we'll take it from Tesla.
Facts. That's facts.
Next big one, which was awesome to hear that I was sort of wrong on, was the transferability of FSD to a vehicle. So I actually love that they're doing this. A couple of reasons. One, for long-term customers who have had Teslas for who knows how long, maybe they have hardware 2 still in their vehicle, which, isn't going to work very well with, FSD when it comes out. Version 12 may not even be functional with it at all. These customers can take their vehicles, upgrade to a new one, get the new hardware 4 or 3, depending on which one they go with, and they'll be able to transfer that FSD. This could help boost a lot of deliveries here in Q3 when they're expecting them to be down when it comes to production. They're not going to be producing as many, so they might be able to get more deliveries coming out just because of the fact that they've got a lot of people who currently have Teslas that they want to get better hardware and they'll upgrade. That I think is brilliant.
Yep. Sheesh moment. Sheesh.
Honey, if VW is desperate enough to get FSD, if Herbert asks Elon, yeah, unfortunately, Herbert doesn't have much of a say over there anymore. It stinks.
Oh boy.
Here you go. A one-time impact from FX added 8 cents to EPS. Damn. Let me see. What else do we have?
Yeah,
there was so much.
328 million. Yeah.
And again, the big thing from all of this is Elon's focus towards AI, towards software, towards autonomy. Talking about how he thinks ARC is great, and the way they lay out, how autonomy is going to play out in the future. That's the big one. And again, that's the key. And as we all know, FSD is the next big one. Cybertruck obviously is going to move the stock. Model 2 obviously going to move the stock, but getting us to the robotaxi. And he was also referring to the next generation platform as the robotaxi. So whatever is coming out of Mexico is the robotaxi, whether it's going to be for us to use, for them to use as the fleet, whatever it is, that platform, that is the game changer coming out of Mexico.
Yep.
It's going to be better than the drugs coming out of there.
No, that's insane. That's insane. And how he dipped into the robo taxis and all that kind of stuff, and how he said that ARC's numbers are quite realistic. And I'm sitting there, I'm like,
and doesn't ARC see a 7x in the next 4 years?
2,000 by 2027 is what she's predicting the stock price would be, and that's the base case.
Yes.
So.
So now again, the stock price might not always reflect what their revenue projections are for robotaxi, but if their revenue projections are correct for robotaxi, then we're looking at a significantly higher stock price.
As long as there's some sort of a revenue generation and some massive growth behind it, aka what happened to Nvidia and Tesla with their robotaxi, then that's it. Then institutional investors go like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, crap. Oh, man, we got to buy this thing now. It'll be that moment. But that's probably going to take another maybe year or two, or I don't know, maybe 3, depending when this robotaxi will be solved. So, or the FSD. So, sheesh.
And so like looking at NVIDIA themselves. So NVIDIA's PE is a 244. That's stupid high. And Tesla's at an 85 right now. Because Tesla is still being like, they're not sure, like, are we software? But if Tesla is going to be doing stuff with Dojo and they're going to be taking NVIDIA, but NVIDIA can't provide everything that they need, so they have to create Dojo, then Tesla's going to be just like NVIDIA, but they also have EVs and energy and all this other stuff coming out as well. So it stands to reason that you can certainly have a PE of 244 on Tesla. I'm not even going to take my valuation model to put a 244 PE on it, but I guarantee you that stock price is significantly higher than we are right now.
God, 250 PE for Tesla stock.
Seriously.
Oh man, that's gonna be a day to see.
Have a good one. Thanks for hanging with us, buddy.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for coming, man. This is going over 3 hours.
Yes.
Oh my goodness,
man. And we won't hang on here too long because we're just going to go over the highlights of this. But
Yeah.
I mean, overall, and a lot of people asking, why, if everything was good, like Rob here, if it was all good, why is the stock tanking? Buy the rumor, sell the news. Happens a lot. And there's also a lot of, like, don't forget we had the Cybertruck hype that came out. That got us a bit excited going into this earnings. And the earnings numbers themselves were good. They were a beat, but not like a smash beat. So they were a beat. EPS, you can say, was a smash beat because it beat it by like 12%. But everything else was just, all right, cool. We hit it. And don't forget, the Whisper number was 89 cents. So a 91-cent EPS was a beat, but not a smash off of the Whisper number. So that's kind of the reason why. And, them then coming out saying that they're expecting production to be lower because of the summer shutdowns for things. Elon did, as Karav pointed out. Elon pointed out, said upgrades coming. So perhaps that's Project Highland that's coming out. They didn't mention that at all. Little things like that. So their guidance for Q3 at least, not the greatest. And the strongest guidance Elon gave for the second half of the year was them solving FSD, which most people on Wall Street don't care. So, Night Moose, have a good one.
Take care, man.
And that's it. It's just.
And if I need to add, I could add to that. Institutional investors, they only look 6 to 12 months ahead. So when they heard Elon just talk about AI and nothing to do with the vehicles, in fact, he even said that if interest rates continue to go up, which most likely it is for some stupid reason, then people will buy less cars and they probably have to reduce margin. They reduce cost. So obviously, someone who's looking only 6 to 12 months ahead, they're gonna say, oh boy, this doesn't sound too good. I'm gonna sell it off. But we Tesla investors, who you and I and who's viewing this live stream, we're long-term investors. We look 5 to 10 years ahead, which is much different than what these institutions look like. So the lower it goes, I mean, I welcome it, man. Please go to 200. I would love to sell everything and go on even more all.
Oh yeah, and that's it too. Is and they reiterated, and the thing is, Wall Street doesn't like direct, truthful facts, and the direct, truthful facts are Tesla is still, for the next handful of quarters, as Zach said, they're basically playing it conservative. They don't know what's going to happen, so they're going to play it conservative. They want to make sure that they can get through this. But they also said that they have free cash flow coming in despite everything they have going on, all the things that they're spending money on when it comes to R&D, when it comes to CapEx. All of these things are still moving them forward despite all of the headwinds. And it's because they are playing it conservative. They're setting themselves up for when we come out of this to be even stronger. But when they tell Wall Street that, Wall Street's like, well, that means that for the next 6 months, you guys are going to suck, so we're going to sell the stock.
Yeah, and the best example to look at is NVIDIA stock. They clearly said that the next quarter in the earnings call that it's going to be this massive jump. And it's because of that why it went up.
Yep.
That's it. Yep. Only a quarter away, not 5 years away, only a quarter away. That's all they need to do. Oh, wow, you're going to 30% next quarter? Buy the stock, make it 300 PE. Yep. So that's all they want.
It's all about the guidance, and Elon speaks long-term because that's how he thinks. And he's not going to cater to Wall Street because he doesn't give a crap. That's not who he is doing this business for. And that's why for us as long-term investors, again, this is the same stuff he's been saying for the last decade. And people who have been investing for the last decade, obviously, in the long term, you've done very well.
Yep. And Tim, in about, when did you start investing in Tesla stock? 2020, 2019?
End of 2020.
So by 2030, we're going to do well as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And yeah, you guys watching as well. You guys been investing since 2020, you'll do well as well.
We will do very well. And then Karav here, yes, we were talking about that. Energy margins at 18.4%.
Yeah.
Which last quarter was 11%. So yes, huge, huge numbers coming out of energy. So again, energy margins beat EV margins. So they got that going for them.
There we go.
and as that continues to ramp, those margins are going to get better as well.
Yep.
Hanif, any news on Giga Mexico construction will start? No, they didn't actually say that. Unless I missed it, but I believe
I didn't
what
hear
it's.
it either.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys heard it, let me know. But again, it seems like they're on track for construction being done and production starting by the end of next year. So I would imagine construction will be starting very soon. All the permits have been approved. As far I believe they've been approved. So I think they're set to go. They're just finalizing things to start breaking ground.
Yeah, Tesla doesn't delay. They're gonna start as soon as possible, ASAP.
Oh yeah.
So these guys don't mess around.
Dominic, this is great. What's your thoughts on value of building prosthetics for amputees disabled? That was actually awesome. And it's funny because I didn't even think about it, but when they were talking about Neuralink being able to, control missing limbs on people robotically, I never put two and two together of, hey, well, the Optimus ones they can now use. They can make an Optimus arm. And think about somebody who's a quadriplegic can now be, 50% Optimus. That's friggin' awesome. Being able to give people functionality of life back is outstanding. I absolutely love that idea. And again, it's not going to be a huge profit maker. Who cares? That's not what it's there for. To be able to give people back a quality of life that they haven't had in for a long time, that's huge.
Facts.
Yes. And Rob, I love it too. Yes. Us Tesla investors. Pejjy,
Tesla investors.
We are one. We are one together. It's awesome.
Indeed we are. Indeed we are.
Oh man. Is there anything else we want to go over before we get off of here?
Oh man. Oh boy. I gotta check out the transcript one more time before I make a video for tomorrow. I think you can find it on the website, right? On the web Tesla investor.
Yeah.
I have to check it out. Yeah, I need to check the transcript before, because this is a lot of juicy things. A lot of juicy things that were said in this.
Oh yeah. Oh, here we go. Gary Black is awesome. So Gary Black tweeted out key takeaways. So I'll run through these.
Okay, cool. Even better.
Q3 production will be down modestly from Q2 production due to plant upgrades. Wall Street was looking for a 2 to 3K increase. So that could be part of the reason of the sell-off. Wall Street wanted to see an increase. They forecasted for a decrease. That's a key piece of this sell-off. Yep. Tesla, again, we talked about it. Tesla in talks with at least one OEM to license FSD. 3, management wouldn't commit to no further price reductions, suggesting it depended on whether interest rates kept rising. They might have to reduce prices to keep payments the same. Elon also insisted that improved autonomy makes any margin degradation now irrelevant, since value of FSD car will increase. Again, that's awesome, and Wall Street doesn't give a shit about that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Wall Street isn't caring because they're like FSD isn't solved, autonomy isn't here yet. Even if it does get solved by the end of the year, it's not going to be a revenue generator in the next 12 months. Who cares? So
who cares?
So that's the whole thing. And then the uncertainty about prices. Again, they've said this in the first quarter as well. They don't know what the market's going to bring. If the Fed goes up on interest rates, they might have to come down on prices. They fluctuate their prices strictly based upon, the demand of what's coming in. And the higher the interest rates go, the lower the demand's going to go, because the less people can afford. We talk about the dominoes that are falling when it comes to why I think the macro environment's going to crash. Credit card debt is skyrocketing. It's at scary levels, as Elon said. That's another thing. Eventually, people are going to hit their credit limits, won't be able to spend at all, and then there won't be any extra spending coming out. We're going to hit a wall eventually, and that's coming. And because of the fact that Tesla basically said that caused a sell-off.
And not to mention that every rate increase they do, that brings us, a step closer to that. So
yes. Fourth was Cybertruck deliveries will start later this year with mass production in 2024. This we knew. So, deliveries will be later this year. Now they said later this year, didn't say quarter, as Pejjy pointed out.
Yeah.
So again, he did say that the vehicles in the earnings report, the vehicle that they produced this past week isn't like the true production vehicle that's going out for delivery. These are the production, let's test them type of vehicles off of the production line. That's what those are. So we will get there. Still, again, no word on when we're going to be seeing the delivery day event. Tesla saw the largest quarter-over-quarter deflation in auto COGS per unit in a while. And awesome, Karav, for pointing this out. dropping almost $300 in COGS in one quarter. So
Absolutely insane.
again, massive. And one of the analysts did ask, about when we're going to be dropping under that $36,000 mark that we've basically been at for a long time. And again, that was an uncertain answer because they're looking at the future. Uncertainty is just that, uncertain, and they don't know where we're going to be going for prices, where everything is going to be going. So it's hard for them to forecast all of that. I think we're going to be hearing a lot different information on the earnings calls in a year from now, because I think at that point we'll have a lot more settled information. But until then, I think we're going to hear a lot of that same information every single quarter. And as Gary points out, obviously points 2, 4, and 5 are positive, 1 and 3 are negative, and that explains why we're down 4% after hours. So,
it should be closer to 15% because I want to buy more shares, but oh well, it's okay for me. But no, look, anyone who's watching this and still has doubt, Tesla's operating margin reduced, but they still generated more profits than last quarter. If that doesn't tell you that this company is beyond resilient and beyond fundamentally strong, then I don't know which other company out there, and that includes Apple, that can be this resilient and strong. And Adam, that's just insane. Wow. Phenomenal earnings call, phenomenal earnings report. I'm very happy with this.
I'm happy as well. I'm happy that we got the information that we got. It just reinforced my bullish stance on Tesla, and I'm even happier that the stock price is coming down because that means I can buy more for less.
Facts.
I'm getting my favorite toy on sale. I love it.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
All right, folks, we're going to jump off of here. Thank you for hanging with us. 3.5 hours. This is by far my longest live stream ever. You guys are troopers. Pejjy, you're a trooper. Thanks for hanging with us as well.
This was a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, thanks for helping us pop Pejjy's cherry for earnings calls. This is his first ever earnings call live stream. This was awesome. Anything else you want to add, Pejjy?
Oh man, Tesla investors, live long. That's all I gotta say.
If you guys do not follow him, check out his YouTube channel, Curious Pejjy. He is also on Twitter, Curious Pejjy. He's a curious guy, always questioning everything. Absolutely love it.
Hell yeah.
So you guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging with us. We will see you guys all later. Enjoy the stock